All right, and welcome everybody to New England Stormwolves Blizzard finals match against JumpStart in Style Esports. We've been looking forward to this day for quite a long time. The Blizzard players have worked real hard, and here we are to do it. I'm Sugarfree007. You can call me Sugarfree. Here casting with my good buddy 3D Epic.
Hello,
Epic,
thank you all.
And Drew is hosting. He's the owner of NESW, and we are all happy and excited to be here. Looks like draft is going to be starting up very shortly. Epic, you've been playing around with the Blizzard guys for a while. Anything in particular that we should be on the lookout for?
The bot lane presence for Blizzard's pretty strong. They tend to go even in most lanes, if not finding a advantage. So they have a very strong dragon control in their early game, which can be a very big threat for the enemy to deal with if left unchecked.
Great points, great points. Yomi and Pikuniku have been working very, very hard, talking with everybody at NESW, trying to up their game, get to the next level. And like you mentioned, that dragon priority is key. One thing to note, NESW does not have their normal starting jungler in with SW Flyboy. We have the coach, Luka Doncic, subbing in, looking for him to be able to help control the pace of the game, same way that Flyboy does, and see if they can keep that very necessary dragon control, which has really been the theme of the entirety of Season 10.
Yeah, Dragon's sole priority has been very big, especially for the mid game when it can lead to ultimate macro decisions. It's really just a big game changer.
I haven't seen too much of JumpStart, but when I watch NESW, the thing that impresses me the most about their play is how well they find and play team fights. Even if they're 6, 7, 8 kills behind, they always find very good ways to fight. And here we go. Draft has started off with an early Master Yi ban from NESW, and Silas taken away from Unshackled, most likely, from JumpStart. I'm looking to see if JumpStart will consider banning the Caitlyn first, because Yomi is very, very comfortable on that champion and seems to be the blue side priority for just about everywhere in the world, unless you're an NA, in which case you ban Caitlyn on blue side.
Yeah, Blizzard has a very flexible AD champ pool where they can flex the majority of the picks. So it's very difficult to try and pin down any pick that you really want to have go up against it.
For sure. Look for Blizzard to compile and put together a very strong team fight composition where they can do exactly what they want when they want. When they see an opportunity to go, they just go. It reminds you of when Blabber first joined C9, and it was just, oh, Blabber sees a fight, okay, they take a fight. Blizzard acts in very much the same way. Hopefully the addition of Coach Dom on Luka Doncic doesn't throw off their synergy too much. Final bans coming in for NESW, aimed at that mid lane, taking away the Diana, taking away the Galio, making sure that Leo in the mid lane makes sure that he has a favorable matchup where he can really exert his dominance. Ashe being taken away from Yomi, I think, is a good ban because Yomi and Pikuniku both love playing Ashe Lulu, and Caitlyn first pick locked in. NESW gets the priority pick.
Yeah, them finding the Caitlyn is already really big because they know exactly how to abuse its advantage, and that immediately gives the bot lane prio over. So knowing this, JumpStart is going to have to find ways to shut this down, or it'll become a big threat in the mid-game.
Also being banned away by JumpStart means that the priority pick against the Caitlyn is not available, and I like the Shen. We've been seeing that rise in priority throughout all regions. He used to have a lot of really bad matchups, but when they buff the amount of shield that he gets, it's so hard to trade into him. He just shields everything away. I am looking forward to seeing what Unshackled has prepared into it in order to take advantage of a Shen matchup which could be the little bit of global presence that JumpStart might need in order to combat this very strong Caitlyn lane.
Yeah. Unshackled's been looking really good. Yeah, just the Mordekaiser pick. It's a great way to shut down the Shen. You ult him when he's ulting, and you immediately pull him away, and the global presence is no longer there. He's not able to threaten on the other side of the map, and it frees up the bot lane to be able to make more plays safely without having to worry.
Another great part of the Mordekaiser pick is that he is a fantastic weak side top laner. He doesn't need resources in order to be useful, nor does he need resources to stay within the game. He just sits there, does his thing, and he's not gankable, and it's really hard to interact with that lane. The Swain pick from JumpStart, a little bit of a surprise for me. Haven't seen much presence on him. I'm curious to see if that's going into the support or the mid lane position. And it looks like Karma locked in. I am expecting that going down to PQ Niku, ensuring that they have push priority at all times in the bot lane, playing strong side bot, going for those 5 plates before 14 minutes. And JumpStart locking in the Vi, that is a disgusting combination with Swain, because it's just immediately you get everything that you want out of your combo, and if you're not careful, you are just immediately dead. Hopefully the Karma gets ahead enough to be able to counteract that.
Yeah, the Jumpstart side has really locked in strong engage and team fighting power. So NESW is going to want to start looking to be able to kite back against that team, because Shen Vi is not something that you can kindly go up against without having a strong vision presence for the Vi to catch out.
If they don't ban it, I'm looking at something like a Volibear or a Sejuani out of NESW for the jungle, mostly because they need some amount of frontline to be able to hold back the Jumpstart team and protect this Caitlyn who has the Karma backing her up. If you get a tank in that jungle, this becomes a very strong teamfight composition. Otherwise, you need to start looking to really hard playing for these side lanes, which you can do with a Mordekaiser, but it's not always ideal when you have a Caitlyn. So a bit of identity loss for NESW, and we will see how it goes as the final bans coming through. NESW focusing down the ADC champion pool, banning Jhin as well as Kai'Sa, while JumpStart took away Leo's Echo, which I've seen and is terrifying, as well as the Lucian. And oh my god, that's Aatrox.
That could be
Shen
flexed.
support?
That could very well be flexed to a Shen support and a Swain mid.
It could be. Maybe it's Aatrox mid and Swain AD carry, or still Swain support. We haven't seen much Aatrox in a while. I've seen him starting to get back in priority as all of the other top lane champions are starting to get nerfed. But I'm curious to see what we're going to
NESW flexing the Karma pick and putting the Janna support.
It looks like the Janna is actually the Hecarim. It was just a misclick. So Janna is Hecarim. It is not Janna. It looks like the horse is going to go vroom, as Leo says. And it looks like Hecarim is being picked for Luka Doncic. I really like that. With Mordekaiser, Karma, Caitlyn, it is very hard to team fight. And is this the patented Leo Wukong? It is. The monkey has come. The monkey has been unleashed.
Yeah, NESW looking pretty strong in their team fight for counter-engaging what the Vi and the Shen are going to be looking to do. So this is really good to help keep the Caitlyn safe, and ultimately, as long as NESW gets the setup, their comp is really happy with what they have.
It is. I'm looking for something that, for some sustained damage out of JumpStart. Okay, Orianna, I like. It looks like it's going to be a Swain ADC with Shen support and Aatrox top. A lot of flex picks out of JumpStart. Very unconventional draft from them, but honestly, I kind of like the way that they've done things.
JumpStart do not have very much range, so the Caitlyn, if they don't manage to catch her, JumpStart's going to have a very hard time going in with the Karma Mantra Shield coming in to disengage any attempt that JumpStart makes. This would be a very hard game for JumpStart to have if they don't find a strong enough lead early.
A lot of these team fights are going to rely very heavily on Yomi's positioning. and making sure that he doesn't get caught in the massive wombo combo of Vi, Orianna, and Swain. It's going to be really important for the rest of his team to buy that space to create that buffer between Jumpstart's backline and their own backline if they want to look for these team fight wins. On the upside, though, the sustained damage is pretty low. If they don't immediately die to Orianna plus Vi combo, they're gonna have a hard time following up and getting enough damage through, especially when Karma hits 40% CDR and has Mantra shields just shielding for 200 health on everyone every 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, Jumpstart has a very explosive mid-game, but their scaling does not follow suit to what NESW could accomplish. If Jumpstart doesn't find the lead, it's heavily favored for NESW going in.
A lot of this game is going to rely, I believe, on the early game. Both junglers kind of want to farm to 6. Hecarim does a little bit better of a job of doing that, but if one of them is able to get a lead, I have total faith that these junglers will be able to snowball lanes out of control. Orianna trying to live through Hecarim and Wukong getting on her, not really possible. Aatrox, same thing. Whichever lane these junglers show up to, there's going to be action, and it's probably going to end up in kills. It's going to be really, really important for both sides to be very careful of their positioning and making sure they're just on the edge of not being able to be reached by that first wave of initiation.
Yeah, Jumpstart's going to want to be looking to play towards the Rift Heralds because their ultimate goal is to find a lead, and they want to accelerate the game pace with the Rift Heralds. So they're really going to want to look to free up the bot lane and make map rotations happen to try and take over the game as quickly as possible.
Definitely agreed. This Karma Caitlyn lane should have complete and total priority over Swain Shen the entire time. It's very dangerous if they get caught by Swain or by Shen and get pulled into a full combo. But without Vi there, they're really not scary at all, as long as they're able to dodge these important skill shots that come out. A while back, Swain's mana restore from his passive was taken out, so his ability to keep up pressure, to keep playing in this lane, is very much reliant on when he is able to get his first back for his first mana item, whether that's a Catalyst of the Ages, a Tear of the Goddess, or a Lost Chapter, depending on which build he's going for. But until then, Caitlyn Karma, plates away. That's what I say.
Yeah, Caitlyn's going to have lots of priority on this Swain. The Swain's going to be struggling if he can't find his E onto the enemy bot lane. And Karma's going to be a strong denier for any attempts Shen wants to go in.
Oh, level 1s, I think, really weak from both sides. I think we should see defensive setups from both sides. Maybe NESW looks to get spicy, looks to get down a ward, see which way the Vi is pathing, and Luka Doncic wants to match the way that Vi is going so that he can show up, counter gank, because I think in all of these situations, the 2v2 and 3v3s that he can create are going to be very strong. So I'm looking to see Luka Doncic take control of this game. And now as we get into the spectator delay, I think we're going to take a short break while we wait for everything to load up. Us casters can rest our voices. This is a best of 5 series. This is game 1, NESW Blizzard versus Jumpstart, and we'll see you in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, and we are live, loading in. We see level 1, we see everyone just spreading out for a bit of a 5-point. It looks like Jumpstart has piled up into this bot side, expecting a bit of a move from NESW while they 5-point. We'll have to see if maybe there's some early action.
And we start with a pause.
God, we love to see the pause. Don't you love to see it?
It's a wonderful thing. Truly. Gives the teams time to think about their strategies. It's really just free time if you know how to use it.
Let the nerves calm down. Looks like we're loading back in, and looks like we will be good to go. And here we are. They are stacking this bush. I think JumpStart are going to look for something.
Yeah.
Shen supports usually start with taunt. Pings come out. They're coming in. We see them coming in. Will they be able to catch Pikuniku? No. Mantra Q? Everybody's safe. False alarm, everybody.
Yeah, I don't think the Mordekaiser was up far enough to be able to see it, so JumpStart really sneakily getting into the river brush, and it's really good of them to be able to play the vision game like that. We can hope to have that and hope they use it in an abusive manner.
Exactly. It's pretty clear which side both junglers are starting on. And we get back into lane. One thing that I want to note out, which I find very interesting, Swain has gone Conqueror and Swain has gone Ignite. Usually on these bot lane mages, you usually see Teleport in order to make sure that they can have ideal timings because their wave clear, their ability to trade, is so much more reliant on their ability to do mana. Oh, and on top of that, it looks like they have done a lane swap. It looks like Unshackled has decided to go mid lane to match the Orianna, while Leo on the Wukong has decided to go top against the Aatrox.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible matchup at all for them to be doing. The Wukong can play really well into the Aatrox, and it could result in Wukong finding a lead, or maybe even taking jungle pressure away from the bot lane.
Exactly, and a big Mantra Q coming out of the Karma in the bot lane, asserting dominance, and it looks like NESW has secured some very strong push, some very strong lane matchups for themselves, especially with the lane swap. Mordekaiser versus Aatrox is something that we saw a lot of when Aatrox was like the super OP pick right after Mordekaiser had been reworked. Unshackled just might not be as familiar with it, gets the pull, and nothing doing. Looks like Vi coming in towards the bot lane, slowed down. Looks like she's not going to be able to get anything. Are they going to be able to turn onto it? Shen grabs 2.
Karma has to burn the flash, but Caitlyn manages to get a couple of traded autos back. This is looking really nice return damage from the Caitlyn. There could even be a potential kill. Flash forward going in. Caitlyn's finding the auto attacks, but she can't quite get the damage. Net trap! First blood goes over to the Caitlyn. Very nicely done by Yomi.
The Vi comes in, and Yomi and Pikuniku say, nuh-uh, that will be our kill. Thank you very much for donating that. Very even trade of summoners, and everybody is looking
just
good.
Running him down.
And another gank into the top lane.
This is an action-packed thing. Hecarim and Leo both looking in here. They might be able to find it onto it. And another kill goes over to the Hecarim. NESW find a 2-0 lead at 4 minutes. This is very nice for them. But JumpStart are looking disastrous.
Oh, so bit of disaster for JumpStart. Their early play does not only does it not work out, they actually lose off of it, as it looks like Vi is going to go for another gank. And it looks like she's calling it off, just going for the Raptors. And not even going to be able to get it because Unshackled has moved over, pushed her off, and said, nope, no Raptors, no gank, absolutely nothing for you. This game is not possible for the JumpStart Esports jungle player.
Yeah, how do you suspect the Vi finds her way back into this game and spotted in her jungle so early on, and her invade attempt not going so well?
At this point, you really just need to farm up and see what it is that you can do in order to get your farm, get your level 6, because when you're level 6, that is definite CC. Could also look to revisit the bot lane. Both Pikuniku and Yomi are flashless, while Shen has flash. That means that should be a free kill as long as they coordinate well for Vi to land her Q after Shen flash taunts.
Yeah, Vi just farming her way up, trying to make sure she can get to her level 6 power spike.
Doncic being a real bro, walking around, clearing out all of the vision that was placed down, recognizing that his bot lane needs to be protected because Wukong, fantastic weak side top laner, Mordekaiser, fantastic weak side mid laner.
Wukong finding a couple of awkward trades, but in the end it doesn't look too badly as he's running corrupting pots.
this wave is stacking so large for NESW Blizzard. I really want to see Hecarim look to make a move to make a dive down bot lane, and it looks like that's what he's looking towards. We'll have to see if anybody else looks to join.
Aatrox slams the third Q onto the clone. Could reset a little bit of his passive auto, but otherwise, just general trading going on here. Not too much happening.
Vikings on this Aatrox is not having a good time. Definitely expected the Mordekaiser, and looks like we're getting that first dragon 6.5 minutes in for NESW Blizzard with that massive wave that they crashed.
Yeah, NESW holding the wave until they needed to push it just for the dragon control was really nicely done by them. It really shows how strong they are with finding the objective control.
And because they did it early enough, it means that they can always push, look for another reset, and reset up to look for that Rift Herald that spawns in just a minute. Right now, everybody invading onto the bot side, probably going to look for some vision. They don't really know where Vi is. What they don't know is that Vi took Hecarim's entire top side while they were taking the dragon. And Leo going in.
Yeah, he finds the ultimate onto him. Wukong doesn't know what to do. He's lost. And the Wukong just finds a free solo kill. Karma getting taunted up, rooted, exhaust. She's just caught out.
Looks like another fight. The fights keep on going in the bot lane.
Hecarim finding the charge onto the Swain. Not quite too much happening. Hecarim ults and gets the fear onto 2. Shen with the dash out. It looks like they all walk away, and they get a trade on both sides of the map, and it looks fairly positive for NESW.
I think NESW came out on top for that. Pikuniku getting a little caught out, but in return, they get the Swain, and really nothing else happens. Solo kill for the Wukong. That's going to jump rocket him so far ahead of Aatrox, and if they want, they could reset and look to start looking at that Rift Herald, because everyone on NESW is very, very strong, and mid lane doesn't even matter. Unshackled about to take his first back of the game, and Orianna with the tier, weak until she gets that item completed.
Yeah, very important to note, the Shen hasn't gotten a recall at the 8-minute mark, so he's still just sitting on his starting support item. He doesn't have any other combat stats to work with the Swain, so they were innately at a disadvantage in these fights.
Possibly looking to just shove it all the way out and get a reset for the Shen. Now that he has ultimate, the solo lanes for NESW need to be very careful of that Shen ult coming in and wrecking their day. I'm curious to see. Vi has hit level 6. I am curious to see which way he goes. Epic, where do you think Vi has to go with her first gank, with her first ultimate?
I think she very much needs to go onto the bot lane, because the Swain can't afford to get behind as someone who wants to be in the fight. If he finds his way into the fight and then can follow up on the Vi's CC, then there's a huge pick potential that they could get onto really any of the members of NESW.
Exactly. So let's see if JumpStart can find a proactive play to match, to make, and if not, this is an ideal early game for NESW. Hecarim has been able to farm up a storm, get to his level 6. He's gotten a couple of kills. Wukong left on an island, able to get a solo kill, able to get a kill earlier from the Hecarim, and bot lane, absolutely peaches. Exactly what you want. What they really want to be doing is starting to push in order to get more plates out of this bot lane. If they don't get at least 3 plates, I think they're going to be, before 14 minutes, I think they're going to feel really bad about how this early game went for them, despite being up in kills and in farm.
Yeah, more strong trades coming out from the Wukong. Aatrox is having a very difficult time in this lane, as Wukong is able to perma push him under and then can very easily trade back out with his W. It's very difficult, but
here comes the Vi gank.
Shen and Vi both looking. Vi finds the ult onto the Caitlyn. Taunt goes onto the Karma. Oh, and then we have another fight going on the top lane. Wukong ulting onto the Swain. And everything's going disastrous. What is going on? Vi manages to find her Q out, but Hecarim ult finds the target. And then Mord finds his target in the Death Realm. He will easily find the solo kill.
and is a 4-4-1 in favor of NESW on a play that JumpStart decided to make. So regardless of the Wukong solo kill on the top side, 3-for-1 in that bottom play where they were the second ones to respond, absolute disaster for JumpStart. Being able to get down 4 plates, possibly the entire tower, just as Dragon is spawning as well, is everything that NESW would want. They have jumped out to an almost a 4.2k lead. I mean, if you take a look at the gold difference in all of these lanes, you're seeing massive differences, especially in the top lane and in the jungle.
Yeah, Caitlyn herself on the farm, plus assists, has already found herself a small 300 gold lead, which can very easily go forward for her if she manages to push that lead.
If I'm Yomi after that play, I'm laughing all the way to my grave, saying, "Was it worth it? Was it truly worth it? Me for all of you?" And the answer for NESW was yes, it 100% was. Sorry, Yomi. I will give you up for 3 of them every single time.
Yeah, both of NESW's solo lanes are really far ahead, which is going to make finding these neutral objectives for JumpStart very difficult as NESW finds their next dragon and they go up 2. If they follow this, they could be ready for Soul by 23 minutes.
Soul is the one that's coming, and usually when people see Cloud Soul, they're like, ugh, Cloud Soul, really? Do we have... Oh, maybe setting up a bait onto the Hecarim. Luka Doncic, watch out!
Yeah, Swain finds the W, misses it, and Hecarim is forced to ult out. Not too much else happens, and Shen couldn't find it.
Good job from Luka Doncic to be able to ult to buffer the Shen taunt landing. If the Shen taunt lands without his ult, lots of damage goes down, possibly even a kill, as Wukong is going in! Leo
yeah, he finds the ultimate, he gets the auto attacks, the armor reduction is really massive here. He finds the secondary knockup, and the Aatrox can't land anything. This is such an unfair trade. But Vi finds her way topside, and there could potentially be pressure to help the Aatrox out.
That pulls the aggression from the Leo to start with. And as I was saying before, when it comes to Cloud Soul, usually people aren't very high on it, but with the composition that NESW has, as I can't speak for a damn moment as Piku
Shen finds the taunt, and Piku gets caught. She finds herself getting exhausted. Caitlyn can't do anything. There's no damage being done. Another mini fight going out, and Caitlyn just has to run for the hills, but Shen finds the taunt. They get the pick, and there goes. Double kill over to the Swain.
And that's exactly what you have to be careful for against a Shen Swain bot lane, and looks like they're going for a dive top in response. And it's
they find it, and easy as pie.
Oh man, so before I get cut off again by all of the action, which has definitely been going in favor of JumpStart, being able to find that double kill solo in the bot lane. Cloud Soul, usually not so great. NESW comp, they have a horse that goes vroom. They want that 10% movement speed, and they have ultimates that benefit a lot from them getting movement speed when they cast it. Mordekaiser with more movement speed, Hecarim with more, Wukong with more, and Karma with more. Every single time they ult, it is a huge deal, and the ability to have those ults up more often gives them more opportunities to team fight when they are already ahead.
Yeah, NESW has found this Aatrox down 0-4, so Aatrox isn't going to be much of a factor when they get to the team fighting stage, as Aatrox can only really go in. So in team fights, it's going to have to be a lot of the heavy lifting being done by the Swain.
Swain has every resource that they could possibly spare, which, granted, wasn't much. And it looks like Hecarim's chasing down the Vi.
She interrupts the Q, finds it. The Swain W slows, but it's not going to matter as Luka Doncic finds the kill. Caitlyn looks to go over, and TP is called out. Well, we see it. Caitlyn Trap finds a target. Wukong finds yet another knockup, and Luka Doncic is forced to ult away, but they're chunked out from under the turret. Massive shockwave onto 3. Wukong finds it on. They destroy the turret, and Swain's going to go down. This is disaster for JumpStart. 4 down. They don't know what to do anymore.
This is all NESW. NESW just needs to stay focused. Don't get too overconfident. Make sure that they close out this game fast and clean. Show them that they mean business. Don't give them an opportunity. Don't give JumpStart anything positive to come back on this game too.
Yeah, NESW is playing a bloodbath, but the volley looks to go in. PQ gets hit, but it doesn't matter, and they manage to walk away just fine.
Until Archangels is finished on the Orianna, until Zonia's and Leandri's, most importantly, are finished on Swain, it's going to be impossible for JumpStart to find any fights. They need to be able to find opportunities where they find a numbers advantage, probably more than just one number advantage, and hopefully maybe steal a dragon. This third dragon, if they're not set up for it, if they can't find a pick beforehand, they can't go anywhere near it. Otherwise, that could just be the game, especially with this Rift Herald being picked up.
Yeah, NESW are very far ahead as their top jungle and mid all have their first core items, which are massive spikes for them. As Hecarim looks to engage onto the Orianna, doesn't get much done, but does chunk her out.
This is a part of why you're seeing Hecarim's. They used to go Conqueror and just have a huge amount of in-fight sustain. When it got nerfed, they started changing and started realizing, okay, Phase Rush is OP on literally every champion. So you go Phase Rush, you go in, you proc your combo, you deal half their health, and then you just run out. And it looks like this dragon is being started up by NESW.
Yeah, this is very dangerous. Aatrox is going to find himself with a small little trade, but it's not going to do very much. As NESW does find the dragon, which puts them on soul point. Leo gets hit by the root, but he finds a double knockup onto both. Gets exhausted, and he's going to get taken down here. He flashes out, and Hecarim ults in to save the day. Vi ults onto the Wukong. Swain ult misses, and Wukong is just walking free.
How did Wukong stay alive? Yomi flashed in to go after the Orianna. Not going to be low enough to the ult. Would need one more auto attack. Okay, here comes the horse. Horse go vroom!
Horse go vroom indeed. And they finally find a kill onto the ADC that they need so desperately. Orianna finding it very difficult as she doesn't have the Archangels to be able to deal with the engage of the Hecarim.
Hello, winners podium? Yes, this is NESW Blizzard. Yes, can you start warming it up for us? This game looking all NESW Blizzard. They have an 8K gold lead, 9K gold lead at 18 minutes. I just don't know what to do. The only people that I've seen throw a lead of this size is NESW Lightning.
Yeah, NESW Blizzard isn't one to make throws like this. So they have all three lanes pushing in. The pressure is massive on JumpStart. But if they're able to turtle this in and manage to hold the waves, they could potentially find a way to get back in the game through farming. But that would take so long for them to be able to try and do anything, considering their comp does not come online the same way that NESW's will.
Yeah, the fact is, 9K means that you've got full item completions on 3 additional members on your team. There's no way to really outplay that in an even setting. If I'm JumpStart, if I'm playing as JumpStart in this game, I'm saying, you know what? This game, kinda sucky. It's okay. Let's get what we can, show what we can do, get ourselves into a groove so that when we go into the next game, because this one's probably lost, so that when we go into the next one, we can show up, better mental, better draft. Let's just go through. Be ready for the early game.
Yeah, JumpStart have had it a little bit rough. The only way that they can really try and come back in this game are those critical shutdowns on the Hecarim and the Wukong. Both of those are going to be massive pickups if they can get them onto the Swain, as Hecarim does find an engage. He's in 1v3, but the Karma and Kate come in. He ults behind to make sure he stays on. Shen ult comes through but doesn't do anything. Taunts under the turret, and they find the shutdown onto the Hecarim, but Kate gets a return kill onto the Vi. Trap goes in. Aatrox manages to get a couple knockups, and they manage to kill the Caitlyn. That's another massive shutdown over to JumpStart. Caitlyn manages to get a little bit of damage done. Mordekaiser gets the ult down onto the Swain, so he manages to keep the Karma safe. Mordekaiser gets caught by the vine, and it's all downhill as NESW get caught at the worst of times. But Wukong manages to go back in and finds the return kill. He might even be able to find 3. This game is a bloodbath.
It is an absolute bloodbath, and it's all going up NESW. Luka Doncic almost had the huge play, Shen taunt in order to cancel his E, but his ult, the fear from his ult completely whiffed. He wasn't able to land it on anybody, so everybody was able to turn and immediately burn him down. He was able to go down, and like you said, that was a massive shutdown. Thankfully for NESW Blizzard, it went over to the Shen, the person that they care about the gold being on the absolute least. But I really want to see NESW taking it slower, not just taking any fight, but continuing to take good fights, continuing to take correct fights. They were lucky that Leo started moving the moment he saw that fight begin to go off in order to get there, in order to clean up what was actually a lost fight for them.
Yeah, the Wukong putting in massive work for them. If they didn't manage to get these return kills, it could have spelled disaster if JumpStart managed to find a couple more fights like that. But Hecarim manages to go in onto the Shen, but nothing happens. Vi and Shen both making their escapes, and Hecarim has free reign over this jungle. There is nothing the Vi can farm up, and she's going to feel so terrible in this game.
There's about 30 seconds left on this final Cloud Dragon spawning. That is what NESW is setting up for. That is what they have their sights on. I don't think JumpStart is in a position to contest it. They didn't get the vision early enough. Maybe a catch onto Shen.
Yeah, the Hecarim is looking onto him, pushes him away from the Wukong, and they manage to get away with the push.
And is that a surrender vote? That's a surrender vote. Game 1 goes to NESW Blizzard in an absolute blowout in a 22-minute surrender vote.
Yeah, very good at coming out of NESW. They come swinging out the fences, and they get everything they needed done. They find the Dragon objective controlled, they find the Rift Heralds, and they manage to shut down the important targets early on.
Very impressive out of NESW, being able to come in, take game 1 in resounding, pounding fashion. Monkeys unleashed. Everyone did their job, did it well. Want to see them go into game 2, do the same thing, a little bit cleaner. But for now, we are going to take a quick break as the second lobby gets set up. We're probably looking at about 5 minutes while the next draft gets set up and the next lobby gets set up. So everyone who's watching, thanks for tuning in. NESW is up 1-0 over JumpStart in the finals for Style Esports. Back with draft for game 2. NESW went out, got a resounding game 1 win. I'm looking to see if JumpStart bans anything from that game, and as I say it, so it happens. There is the ban of the Hecarim, which I think absolutely needed to be taken away of. If I do say so, Luka Doncic ran away with the game.
Yeah, pun intended, the Hecarim was putting in a lot of work. He was all over the map, and the Vi couldn't find a way into the game, so Vi was just a worse Hecarim.
A little unfortunate for JumpStart, because their first gank had good setup, but NESW had a much larger wave, had hit level 2, and were able to outplay it and be able to find a return kill in a 2v3 situation while Hecarim's gank worked. And from there, the game kind of just boomed. So, gonna look to see JumpStart come back in, reset their mentals, reset their game plan. NESW, strangely enough to me, leaving up the Caitlyn, I guess they believe that JumpStart just doesn't play the pick, or if they do, they're not afraid of it.
Yeah, Yomi in the bot lane does play the Senna, so he can look to play a little bit of a weak side AD and play towards the top. Whereas Ornn comes in as a B1.
First pick Ornn from JumpStart, just making sure that wasn't a mistake. No mistake. Pick one Ornn. JumpStart has said, our priority, we want Ornn. That is absolutely what we want. Not something that I'm personally a fan of. I think that gives Unshackled, or Leo, as we saw, if they swap him in, freedom to do whatever he wants. Taking Mordekaiser again, most likely for Unshackled, has a great matchup into Ornn, And if Warren gets flexed into the bot lane, into support, I think you're just losing everything about what makes that pick competitive.
Yeah, Ornn is pretty much forced to go into the top lane, and the Mordekaiser can be used as a flex pick. So they could, in theory, if they, show their mid laner and gives Mordekaiser a decent matchup there, they could find yet another pick for the top lane. As Kai'Sa comes through, a short-ranged AD against a Caitlyn is a very interesting pick.
Like JumpStart is putting together a very strong dive composition, so look for NESW to look to draft some more disengage. Mordekaiser, a very good champion at doing that. One thing, dive composition, so look for NESW to look to draft some more disengage. Mordekaiser, a very good champion at doing that. One thing to keep note of, though, is in the Death Realm, he does not have a very good time against Kai'Sa because of her stealth, because of her mobility, because of the amount of damage that she does. But everyone else, Mordekaiser just has a field day with. They can't escape. They can fear it. They can run for it. And the Leona, yes, I love it. Since I've joined NESW, I've been preaching about how Nautilus into Leona is not an even close to winnable matchup for Nautilus. Leona just has an absolute field day. Niku pulling it out with the Caitlyn. Leona combo into Caitlyn trap with a Q. Nautilus is dead. As long as they focus down the Nautilus, the Kai'Sa will also not be allowed to lane. What's going to be really important is how they hold their wave state, making sure that it's in a position where Leona isn't diving under turret to do these things.
Yeah, NESW can look to play a little bit on the weaker side with freezes happening, and they can look to really try and punish this Ornn with their jungle pick if they play it correctly. A Volibear pick would be very dangerous going into this second round.
For JumpStart or for NESW?
Pick for NESW.
I agree. I think Volibear looks really good. It looks like they banned out the Diana and the Kayn. Don't want to give the JumpStart any more dive, and dive is going to happen. The Graves, I really like. He gets so ridiculously tanky while being able to farm up, and he's a second threat. If you have one threat against the composition that is full on dive, it becomes very difficult to play because there isn't enough peel in the world for Nautilus ult or an ult, Kai'Sa ult. But Graves, well, now you need to figure out who you're killing first.
Interesting Warwick pick coming in blind. Not blind. Coming into the Graves pick. It could be used as a way to try and catch out the Graves while he's jungling, as the Sense will be able to catch him.
I'm really surprised by the Warwick pick. I think he's going to have a very difficult time in these fights, and Annie coming through as well. They're just going for... Is this LS's team? LS, are you coaching now? Hello?
Yeah, this is a very solo queue team. This is stuff that you should be expecting to see in silver solo queue, not in competitive.
So what we can't see here is they have very good pick and they have very good team fight. Their sustained damage is very, very low though, and the Kassadin pick, I'm not sure whether or not I love it. JumpStart has an enormous amount of CC coming out, which is kind of what makes Kassadin a little afraid. On top of that, outside of the Leona, there really aren't ways to do the fight. The thing that Kassadin does have going for him, though, is it's very hard to catch him. I think you're going to look and see NESW trying to set up 1-3-1 split push type compositions, because Annie and Ornn can never match Mordekaiser and Kassadin on the side lanes. There's just absolutely zero chance of it ever happening.
Yeah, JumpStart has a lot safer of a comp, but NESWs will blow up if given the opportunity to do so. If they can focus on the top side of the map and make sure that the Kassadin doesn't go down too far in lane and that Mordekaiser can find a lead over the Ornn, NESW should be able to find this in the bag. But JumpStart can hold on and maybe find the engage that they need or the pick they need to get it going. So depending on how these drafts are played, it can be even.
100%. I like that. I actually the more and more that I think about it, the more and more I actually like the Jumpstart draft. It's easy to execute. It's easy to identify the win conditions. Unfortunately, it also means that if this Kaisa falls behind all, at all, it's going to be very, very difficult for them because Annie, Warwick, and Ornn won't have enough sustained damage to be able to kill Mordekaiser, Graves, and Kassadin. That even though they are squishier champions, it's going to be very difficult for them. So I am looking for them to send everything and the kitchen sink and the plumber fixing the kitchen sink down towards Yomi and Pikuniku in the bot lane. And I'm expecting NESW to try and counteract that.
Yeah, Annie coming out as a pick champion, she's going to find it very difficult to get pick onto the Caitlyn with the range discrepancy that goes on there. Annie would have to find a flank, which is not overly optimal considering that they have a Mordekaiser Leona.
Agreed. I think one of the unfortunate things is that normally in a situation like this, cleansed would be really cool to have, but I don't think you can get it because the only thing really cleansable is Nautilus auto attack, which is a root, and Annie Stud, and Warwick's Fear off of his E. Warwick's suppression, his ult, is not cleansable. The only thing that gets rid of that in the game is QSS. So look for early pickups of that for the Graves as well as the Caitlyn.
Yeah, as we're locking in here, the Kassadin, while it can lose early to the Annie due to auto attack range discrepancy, the Kassadin can protect himself quite well with the down, and he manages to find roam timers with the Graves. NESW can find leads, but their comp is much harder to execute. So they'll have to be very proactive in the way they play.
The way that this goes out is if Graves, Kassadin, and Mordekaiser reach level 6 without having anything happen to them, if they're 0-0-0 at that timer, that is an absolutely strong winning early game for NESW Blizzard. This first dragon probably must go over to Jumpstart, and NESW, you're waiting until Kassadin hits level 11, and at that point, your ability to fight consistently really, really turns on. Other option is to see if Leona can make a pick, make things happen onto the Nautilus, see if he doesn't get to play the game. And we're going to be loading in to the spectator delay. Like we said, this is NESW Blizzard against Jumpstart. NESW Blizzard won game 1, and they are up 1-0. This is a best of 5. Epic and I are going to take a quick break for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, rest our voices, and when we see you next, we'll be in game for game 2. Thanks for watching. Alright, and we have loaded in, and immediately we are seeing pings out of Jumpstart on the blue side to invade the bottom side blue jungle of NESW, who have taken up a 5-point because they are significantly weaker. Alright, Pikuniku, get out of there. Drops a ward, not going to be able to get killed.
Yeah,
And it looks like
Jumpstart's just caught.
Yep, looks like they're just going in, gonna drop off some vision. Luka Doncic was able to get a ward onto the wolves of the Warwick, and oh, they might just be sticking around to try and steal this buff.
Yeah, not too bad from them to be able to take away. I expect to see the Graves counter jungle the blue away, and maybe even try and split the map by playing strictly on the top side and just letting the pressure the Kaisa with a freeze.
I think this is actually really, really smart out of Jumpstart. Caitlyn wants to be playing strong side. Mordekaiser prefers to be playing weak side. So this split map, because NESW has a Kassadin mid and not an Annie, means that Jumpstart is able to get the lane matchup that they want, and they have to be really, really careful right now to not get immediately cheesed.
Yeah, nothing overly exciting happening quite yet.
It looks like Nautilus and Warwick are waiting in the bush, trying to see if the bot lane from NESW over-aggresses. Here it is, maybe a flash. The Q misses.
Just goes wide, and it looks like Leona should be able to just walk away from this. It has to blow flash and heal, but nothing else happens. This is really good for the side of JumpStart.
JumpStart being able to get that out of NESW, really, really happy. NESW, Luka Doncic should have seen that he had the blue, that Warwick had the blue buff, and flash in, first blood.
It's just too easy. Yeah, the punish onto the Leona really early.
Oh,
really nicely done. Really nice heal reaction timing coming out.
If that heal didn't come out, then the Nautilus was definitely dead. Yomi trying to avenge his support. All is not lost. Farm is even. He has a wave coming into him. Just a minor setback for the Leona Caitlyn lane. Unfortunate that the Kaisa is ahead, and it looks like Luka Doncic is being collapsed on in the top lane.
Yeah, he's spotted in. He gets stunned up, and the electrocute comes proc down. The Ord manages to find himself on top as well, and they catch out the Graves. Mord having to return with his own flash. Warwick finds the Q onto him, and it looks like the Mord should be able to just walk out free here. And Ornn flashes under the turret. This is so aggressive. This is so unnecessary, and they trade 1 for 1.
Honestly, a little bit worth from the Ornn. He's asserting dominance, gets the kill. Looks like Mordekaiser did not get the return kill. It looks like he didn't get an assist. It just went to Luka Doncic. So overall, really positive early game out of JumpStart, which is exactly what we were expecting, exactly what they needed to do with the composition that they had drafted. NESW needs to slow down the pace of the game and let themselves get to a point of scaling. They need ultimates on both of their solo laners. They need their Graves to be farmed up, and they need the game to go slower.
Yeah, NESW's bot lane, both having lost flash early as well as heal, is very bad for them with the Nautilus being able to pressure up. Because now they don't have any escape threat if the Warwick decides to fight himself bot lane. As they look for a pick onto the Annie, flash comes out and they manage to run her down. It's very slow, but it looks like it's going to happen. Warwick comes in and they might be able to get him out. Annie walks scot-free.
Oh, really good fear out of Samira player. Really good fear to turn both of them away rather than just randomly fear them.
Yeah, Ornn finds a small little engage onto the Mord, but nothing really comes of it.
I'm a little afraid that game 1 got NESW feeling a little bit cocky, and right now they're feeling the effects of it. JumpStart has come to play game 1. First game of the day, just a warm-up. Now they've come back and they are swinging. They are fighting real hard for this.
Indeed, they've definitely jump-started their way back into the second game, excuse the pun.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Yeah, as expected, the Annie does find herself a small lead, but Cassidy not really falling too far behind as he does have a CS lead over her. But Gold's still...
Because of that early Annie roam. But overall, not super lost. 1K down at 5 minutes is not a good thing, but it also doesn't mean the end of the world. They just need to make sure that this is where the bleeding stops. Pings go down onto the Dragon from NESW. They know that the Warwick is looking at it, and it looks like Warwick gets off of it.
Yeah, for NESW, inactivity is activity. They just need to be able to farm up and get their core items, because in teamfights, they will be stronger with even gold footing.
Exactly, and looks like they're trying to start a fight with Cassidy having level 6.
Yeah, Nautilus whips the hook, has to get the aftershock going on with the auto attack. Graves finds his way walking around, and Annie is threatening stun.
6. But if Annie was level 6, that would have been disaster for NESW, but she wasn't. She also didn't have flash up, so not able to find anything. Just a blown ignite from the Nautilus, and a bunch of nothing happened based off of the missed hook from Nautilus.
Yeah, overall, it does go in favor of JumpStart as they're able to take NESW away from their farm. Small trade going on to the top lane. Bella's Breath coming through, and the auto-attacking, chunking out the Mordekaiser a little bit. This is looking rough for the Mordekaiser in the early game.
It definitely is. Once he starts getting some items, he'll have an easier time against the Ornn, but Ornn in lane is pretty unbalanced, especially with the fact that he got that early kill. But the fact that NESW has been able to delay this first dragon take so long is definitely a win for NESW, and it looks like they're looking to go in on their bot lane and spot it out by a ward and nothing of it.
Yeah, even though Graves isn't able to get the gank off, he is able to threaten the Kai'Sa back a little bit, so the NESW's bot can breathe a little bit more than they were before. As Graves looks to start up the dragon here.
Gets a good trade onto the Annie. She's half health. We'll have to see.
Warwick spots him out, and this could go very badly.
The flash hook. It lands! The bullshit hook!
Solo kill goes over. Yeah, very greedy from the Graves. He didn't quite know where the Warwick was. He had a false sense of security from the Annie being ahead. As Mordekaiser ults onto the Ornn, this is a pretty interesting trade in the Death Realm, and nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Not really a big fan of that use of the Mordekaiser ultimate. There wasn't really a way to kill him. You really need to be able to whittle down the Ornn more. When you Mordekaiser ult and you ult in order to kill someone, the general timing for things is you need them to be able to die inside of 2 Qs. Because that's the number of Qs that you get inside of Death Realm.
Yeah, hook goes wide from Nautilus as JumpStart are being handed somewhat of a freeze, and they start to use it now. This could go very badly if NESW's bot lane is unable to break this freeze. Kai'Sa is going to find herself very full of joy.
On the bright side, Kassadin getting very strong, farming very freely. Graves isn't actually too far behind. I mean, remember when I said there was a 1k gold deficit at 5 minutes? It's 9 minutes. That gold deficit hasn't been increased.
Trade going down. Mordekaiser finding his passive as he chunks the Ornn down to just over a third. Gank comes through from the Warwick, and he smites, forces the flash out of the Mordekaiser, gets the fear down. Knockup comes through. Bella's breath and spits, and there's the kill onto the Mordekaiser.
Wasn't even level 6 for that, but it looks like Kassadin and Graves running up. And looks like they're not going to be able to find anything. Unshackled really wanted to be able to get that wave into the turret, prevent the freeze, and just wasn't able to without giving up his life.
Yeah, Mordekaiser was overstepped without vision, so the Warwick had a very free gank as he had the entire lane to just run him down. There wasn't too much that he could do since he had burned the E in an aggressive trade.
Exactly, and that's part of why you want to save your ultimate as the Mordekaiser, because when the level 5 Warwick shows up, you ult the level 5 Warwick and you just kill him. Because he's shown up, he doesn't have ultimate, and he's not nearly as strong as a solo laner who has 2 levels on him.
Yeah, Graves starting up the Rift Herald without his top laner being present, and now JumpStart just go for it as they send up their support to help get it done.
Nautilus made the full move up. I would love to see Niku threatening to dive the Kai'Sa right now, rather than going to clear the vision around the dragon, but that isn't the case so far. Just going, clearing vision. Graves is going to show up, and maybe afterwards they will find it. But Nautilus has his Swifty boots, can get here in time.
Yeah, NESW's bot lane can stack this next wave. This could very well be a potential dive coming in, as Kai'Sa doesn't have her flash. Graves shows up and Ornn teleports in. They find a stun. Root goes down. They manage to find it. Leona gets the tank, but then Graves swaps off. Ornn manages to get the kill onto the Graves, and this is looking not too great for NESW. They get picked off. Nautilus finds the auto attack onto the Leona, and Ornn finds himself freely getting to hit onto the Caitlyn as
dies to the Nautilus and a flash out from the Ornn.
It's all going wrong.
Looks like a really forced play that if they were going to go for, had to go for about 15 seconds earlier while the Ornn couldn't teleport. Or if they were going to go for it, they needed to make sure that everyone on the team was going to teleport for that play.
Yeah, they needed to make sure they coordinated TPs.
So now, 2.5k down. Looking a little bit rough for NESW, but this was to be expected. Leo almost at that level 11 point where he can start really affecting the game, really affecting the map. But what they need to do is, again, they need to slow it down. They scale. They have Caitlyn, they have Kassadin, they have Graves. These are champions that scale really well into mid game, really well into late game. Let Mordekaiser get to a point where Ornn can't stand in the side lane with him. Same referring to the Cassidy.
Stun goes down, Tibbers goes down. Cassidy finds himself wanting to trade really aggressively, and he dies under turret trying to aggress for a kill that he didn't need to go for in the first place. This is looking very, very bad. Ornn finds a knock-up onto the Mordekaiser, and a trade back happens, but this is going so poorly for NESW.
A bit of a limit test for Leo. Didn't expect the damage from the Ignite and the Electrocute, which came out to kill him. Next Dragon is coming up in 20 seconds, so really just need to wait. And they're getting collapsed on. Warwick's going in.
Yeah. Warwick finds the ult and gets the suppress into the fear, and then they manage to pick off the jungler right before the dragon happens. This is disaster for NESW.
This is a completely different JumpStart than what we saw in Game 1. They have come here, they came in with a great early game plan. They understood where their win conditions were.
Ornn manages to find the Ornhorn onto the Mordekaiser. He could be looking to try and get the solo kill, as he does.
Yeah, NESW, I think, got a little cocky after Game 1, stopped and didn't pick a composition that played to what their strengths are. I love seeing NESW when they play with these teamfight type compositions and with strong lanes, not the everybody needs to wait and scale up lanes like the Cassidy, like the Mordekaiser, especially with a Graves jungle. Give him something to play around. So we'll just have to see. 4K down, does JumpStart make any mistakes?
Annie gets chunked out really hard, and she's not going to be able to threaten with the Rift Herald for the rest of the turret, as the JumpStart bot lane looks to get the reset going on here, and it's so rough. They find themselves with a massive gold lead, and they have an Ornn that's going to be scaling up and soon enough giving items to his teammates, which will increase their lead even further. If NESW can't find their footing in this game soon with the shutdowns, this could very well be over.
I'm not sure if it's point of solace or not, but the majority of the gold lead that JumpStart has is on this Ornn in the top lane over Unshackled. Ornn is very, very ahead of the curve, but eventually Cassidy and Mordekaiser both don't really care and will just kill him. So need to wait and see if that happens. It looks like a play is being set up by JumpStart onto the bot lane. Nautilus and Warwick are teaming up, looking to find a play. Next objective up is going to be the next Rift Herald. They're looking to dive the Cassidy, who's level 10. Ultimate comes out.
They don't manage to find it. Nautilus finds the ulti and then manage to get the fear, the stun. They layer the CC just perfectly, and they manage to kill the Cassidy under the turret. This should be a turret going down with the next wave, but Mordekaiser comes down. Nautilus finds hook onto him, but has to force the flash out due to over-aggression. And the JumpStart are just finding their picks. Ornn manages to find the Ornhorn ult onto the Mordekaiser yet again, but he finds the knockup again. Fear goes down after a flash, and they manage to get a pick onto the Mordekaiser yet again. The solo lanes are so far behind for NESW. As Leona finds an ulti, and they manage to get a return kill onto the Graves, this could... Droop's stun goes down, and NESW is finding return kills. They're getting everything that they wanted and more onto the Graves. They managed to force stopwatch out of the Nautilus, and Annie goes down a triple kill over to the Graves, and he could potentially be looking at the quadra kill by eating over the wall. Cassidy managed to get the last shutdown, and gold goes over to two very important carries for NESW. They found exactly what they needed at the right time.
So good for JumpStart. I loved seeing that dive, seeing them go for it, saying, hey, we have champions that when they press R, it's kind of no counterplay. But then they overstayed, they over-aggressed, they kept going because they felt they were so far ahead, and that 4K gold lead is now 1.3K, and most of that gold just went into the Graves. If we can toggle over to the gold graphs right now, I think Graves is sitting on over 3K right now. Yeah, Graves sitting on over 3,000 gold. Like, enormous. NESW completely back in the game. Being 1.5K down at 16 minutes for their composition means absolutely nothing. Cassidy has hit level 11, which most people are like, okay, Cassidy 16, that's the win condition. Cassidy level 11, he starts to be able to play the game.
Yeah, Cassidy level 11 is when his champ identity really starts to turn on, which could be massive if he manages to find the right engage moment and get a pick onto a very important piece of Jumpstart.
Exactly. And meanwhile, while all of that was happening, Yomi took a full turret bot lane, as well as gained another 25 CS lead over Red Riot. So now things are looking kind of okay for NESW, but they still need to find fights that are advantageous for them. Next Dragon is coming up. It's a Mountain Soul, and you do not want to be giving over Mountain Dragons to a composition that has Warwick, Ornn, as well as Nautilus.
Yeah, very interesting that Jumpstart opts to use the Rift Trail in the top lane. Nautilus finds himself getting caught just a little bit.
Neither Unshackled nor Leo have teleport, so they've decided to come down early in order to set up for this dragon, because they've recognized this is a dragon they cannot give up. They need to be first on the scene with that. Sacking a big wave top lane to do so, though.
Yeah, very smart by NESW, as TP is channeled down from the Ornn, and Jumpstart could be trying to look for an engage here as Warwick is on flank, but he gets caught by the Leona E, and he gets stunned up, chained up. Nautilus ult comes down, and Warwick finds himself fat and happy as Nautilus finds kill onto Caitlyn. They manage to get the root, and Warwick shuts down the Graves. That's no more smite. NESW is struggling here as it looks like they just got aced out of nowhere.
Yeah, it seemed that they did not know what to do against the Warwick. The Warwick was on a big flank, and they thought, okay, Warwick, he's by himself. Let's all go on him. Warwick winds up getting a enormous 3-man fear off, with Nautilus being able to find an ult onto Yomi and Ornn ult all to top it off. Meanwhile, Cassidy went in on his lonesome into the backline, and Annie and Kaisa just said, okay, goodbye, hello, Cassidy, goodbye, Cassidy. And that was that, and that gold lead, now 6k. I take back everything I said in the previous, 30 seconds leading up to that dragon.
Yeah, NESW, as fast as they slow down, speed right back up. They need to be able to turtle. Now that they don't have any of their tier 1 turrets left anymore, they need to be looking to turtle these waves in and start farming up really hard, because they can come back in this game given the right circumstances, but they cannot afford to be getting caught in bad spots when objectives are coming up, because that could spell game over if they're able to find slow point for Jumpstart.
The bigger problem is Luka Doncic and Pika Niku need to start teaming up together and finding numbers advantage fights on these side lanes, and saying, Yomi, sorry, but you're kind of just going to have to be on your own, because Yomi is not able to keep up with the pace of the game right now, and Graves is the only actually strong member on the side of NESW. The problem is his solo lanes, Cassidy and Mordekaiser, can't set him up to find a play. He needs Leona to do that. Leona is the only real go button for their team. And until they're able to do that, it's going to be a long time. Mordekaiser just finished his first item, just finished the Leandries at 20 minutes. Cassidy just finished his tier. It's gonna be really, really hard for them to be able to play this game. They need Jumpstart to make another mistake again. Need them to be overreaching. Need them to walk into an area that they don't have vision.
Yeah, once again, we're trying to look at big shutdowns. Cassidy wants to look aggressively onto the Kaisa, but it's just unable to happen. He manages to find yet another ult, and then Kaisa is just mopping the floor with the Cassidy. He ints away with going under the turret.
Yeah, Kaisa has 2 items. She had a fully stacked Ginsu's when Leo went in for that fight, and Leo's still sitting on only 1 completed item. Leo is not that strong yet. Nobody on NESW is that strong yet. They need to just give everything and take what they are allowed to take. Maybe hope for a miracle Baron steal out of Luka Doncic, but without that, it's over. And I think Luka is just going to be dead.
Nautilus ult comes down onto him as Ornhorn manages to get called. Leona ult for nothing really, and then that's the pick that they were looking for. And now that jungler's dead, this is free Baron over to Jumpstart.
Yep, this is gonna be Baron. This is the state that maybe trying to fight, maybe try to do something here.
Yeah, looking to maybe try and take Barons off of at least one or two of the members. They don't find it onto the Nautilus, but he does flash over as Ignite is put onto him, and Caitlyn ult is burned.
Yep. So the state that NESW was in when they took Baron is the state that JumpStart is now in, comparing Game 1 to Game 2. So, like I said for JumpStart then, if I'm NESW right now, it's okay, let's see what we can take, let's see what good plays we can make so that we can feel good going into Game 3. We'll have side selection, and, let's reset so that we can keep playing there. So, one thing to keep an eye on, Kai'Sa is going for the Nashor's Tooth. Going for this item gives Kai'Sa a much higher magic damage profile than physical damage, which honestly isn't a great thing with their team comp. If Caitlyn is able to get to a Hex Drinker and QSS, like if she goes 3 crit items, Hex Drinker, QSS, or if Graves is able to go QSS or Hex Drinker and just get MR, it becomes a bit more difficult because Annie does magic damage, Kai'Sa does magic damage, Ornn does primarily magic damage, Warwick does a good chunk of magic damage. It becomes very easy to itemize against in order to keep themselves safe. Nautilus walking in alone here, but they don't know, so they can't go for it.
Yeah, the lack of vision is really hurting NESW, as that was a potential pick, but they just don't have the information they need to be able to pull the trigger.
I think in these types of situations, that's the type of play where if you're Pikuniku, you just go, you layer the full combo onto the Nautilus because you know the dragon is spawning. If someone's there, you lose the dragon anyways. If no one's there, then you get a pick and maybe you can contest the dragon.
Yeah, JumpStart is stacking in a bush. They're looking to try and pull a Fnatic Death Brush and try and catch out NESW when they want to look at stopping the Soul Take. Ornn finds the Ornn Horn.
Doing it.
TP is summoned down. And then Stun gets bursted out. Soul goes down over. Kassadin manages to get away, but Mordekaiser is going to get taken down here as he's in the middle of 4 people. This is very, very rough for them. Graves managing to run away, but Warwick's just going to run him down. That's 2 down on the side of NESW, and this is just disastrous. They do not have a way to come back in this, as they did not manage to meet their win cons.
Behind a bit too early, and when they came behind, the common adage is you need to go for risky plays just to see if you can make something happen. They weren't able to find good enough risky plays. For example, Pikuniku sitting in the bush, maybe she should have gone on the Nautilus. The safe play was to not do that, but when you're this far behind, you have to do the not safe play. I will say, I'm expecting to see NESW ban out the Warwick in this next draft because this Warwick in particular has made their lives so hard, and this Warwick has been played really, really well. Multiple perfect fears out of the Warwick, ult regardless, farming regardless. He has made team fights really easy for the team because of it.
NESW can't even afford to hold their own base anymore, as the gold lead is just too massive. The champion difference in items is insane. There's not much that NESW can do here, as they're not able to get their items coming in, so their spikes are quite useless at this point. Leona ult finds her way onto the Kai'Sa, and then Mordekaiser is going in, but he can't do very much. Kassadin gets ulted, and this is looking very interesting. But in the end, JumpStart is going to find the lead working out in their favor, as it was anticipated. Triple kill going over to the Kai'Sa, and this should be game right here.
And that is the ace. Kai'Sa doing a little dance. Just like NESW punished JumpStart in game 1, JumpStart punishes them. Good game out of JumpStart. Really liked it, and I'll tell you what, Epic, we got a series on our hands.
We very, very much do.
So, that's the end of Game 2. It is 1-1 in this best of 5 between NESW and JumpStart in the finals of Style Esports. And we're going to take a quick break while the next draft and lobby is set up. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm Sugar Free. My buddy is Epic, and we'll see you guys in a few. All right, and we are live with Game 3 of this finals matchup in Style Esports between NESW Blizzard and JumpStart. Game 2 did not go quite so favorably for NESW, but, you know, if you're asking me, Epic, it's kind of nice to see the other team show signs of life.
Yeah, JumpStart really showed up big in that second game, and this very well could go to 5 games if each team manages to step it up with their respective comps.
Bans coming out so far the same as Game 2, just swapped sides. I'm really curious to see if NESW bans the Warwick, and no, instead they decided to ban away the Ornn, decided that was a bit too much to handle in the top lane. I wonder what if JumpStart will change their ban from Game 2, or if they will. Okay, banning away the Lulu from Piku Niku I think is a really good choice, because last game they picked a composition that was entirely everybody press R, and we hope for the best what happens, and Lulu is a very good champion at stopping that.
Yeah, Ashe a very strong B1 coming out here, as it starts to give signs as to what NESW is wanting to do.
Looking for a few more ways to start out fights coming out of their bot lane, probably recognizing that in that last game, even if they saw an opportunity, there wasn't really a good way for them to start a fight. And Shen comes through. As Game 1, we thought that was definitely a Shen top lane. We have seen they can flex that to support, so just need to be careful of that. And I think the Lulu ban also points towards that Shen still being for support and not for top lane. Shen and Kai'Sa. Shen and Kai'Sa is a decent combination, because Kai'Sa gets the Shen ult as she goes in, and if they are laning together, then Shen, like Nautilus, if he lands a taunt, he gets to go in and have Kai'Sa follow up with the damage. They have started once again creating a very powerful dive composition, so NESW needs a way to work around that. Locking in the Leona, expecting that maybe JumpStart tries to pick the Nautilus again. If they do, I think they're trolling a little bit, unless they go for the same type of level 2 gank that they did in Game 2.
Yeah, JumpStart re-rolling the Shen pick. Kai'Sa coming back as a strong pick for the JumpStart bottom laner. Urgot, a very interesting pick coming out here, with the Shen having been shown.
I think that Urgot Shen matchup isn't great for Urgot, but I know that it is a very comfortable pick for Unshackled. So maybe he just said. So maybe the game plan has shifted and said, make top lane the strong side, really play towards it, get the Urgot ahead, and then all of the bad things that happened won't happen, because they were a very short range team. And the Warwick lock-in for JumpStart, I think, is very good, because that Warwick was incredibly impressive to me, especially if he's going to have a Shen backing him up now.
Yeah, Warwick's going to be able to do whatever he wants on the map whenever Shen has his ult up, as Warwick likes fighting at low HP, and Shen ult gets better the lower HP his ally is.
NESW bans away the Nautilus, saying, you know what, Nautilus pressing R, still too easy for JumpStart. They want to force JumpStart onto a composition that has a higher degree of difficulty. It's not just they run up, they press R, and if they're ahead, they win, and if they're behind, they might still win, because they just pressed R.
Yeah, the Wukong banned away, showing respect over to Leo in the mid lane, as they don't want to have to deal with that kind of a team fighting presence in this game.
Wukong also really difficult for Warwick to deal with, because if Wukong has good enough reaction time, he can tank the Warwick ultimate with his clone. And then Warwick is a very sad puppy indeed. And the Annie ban, I like the adaptations in these round 2 bans out of NESW and out of JumpStart. They've narrowed in on Leo's comfortable pool, while NESW has recognized problems that JumpStart had, which was they had a very easy composition to execute. Morgana, that could be bottom, that could be support. I also could see it still being flexed to the mid lane, just because it's another one of those easy, wave clear, uninteractive type champions like Annie.
Yeah, she has a couple of decent matchups as NESW picks up the Yasuo Gragas combo, so they're looking very aggressive at the level 6 time.
Gragas Yasuo, love to see that combination. They have said, look, we know exactly what we're about. We know exactly what you're about. They recognize that in the last game, they tried to play a 1-3-1 composition, and that's just not going to be possible against JumpStart. They are just going team fight, and the Diana lock-in, which is the ban that they left off in order to ban the Ornn. So that is Shen top, that is Morgana support, that is Diana mid lane, which is something that we're going to see for the first time in this series. The Diana Yasuo matchup is very, very interesting, and the reason for that is Diana obviously gets reset on her ability to dash if her Q lands. But if you're Yasuo, as long as you windfall that Q, she can't get a reset on it, and she ends up losing an enormous amount of damage because of it.
Yeah, we get the picks going on here. NESW's comp really turns on at level 6 as they unlock both CC chains on bot lane and mid jungle. So NESW, if they time their 6 roam timers correctly, they can easily find themselves picks, even with the Morgana Black Shield coming through, just based on the sheer amount of magic damage ults that NESW has.
I am looking. This is going to be really a test of how coordinated can NESW Blizzard be, because if they ever only go for one target, Black Shield can nullify that. But what they can do, for instance, in bot lane, is Leona looks to ult the Kai'Sa, and when Morgana Black Shields it, Ashe immediately ults Morgana, and they go on the Morgana. Those are the types of coordinated plays that they're going to have to look for and be ready for, because otherwise they're just going to have JumpStart all piling in on top of them, and then Ashe is just going to cry a little bit because, she doesn't have, 300 dashes like a Yasuo.
Yeah, NESW's comp is very, very good at dogpiling onto a group if they manage to cluster and dealing large amounts of damage. But on the counter side, Warwick and Shen both like when people come into them, as Shen has the Spirit's Refuge and the fear from the Warwick. So it very much comes down to skill usage and tracking who has what.
Exactly. These team fights are going to be very messy, but it's going to be hard to tell just how messy they are, because everyone's just going to be completely on top of each other. Everyone in this game is so very short range. I mean, Urgot is basically a melee champion. The rest of the champions in the top side of the map are all actually melee. And then Ashe has range. Kai'Sa wants to be in short range. Her range is among the lowest of all of the ADCs. Leona, melee champion, and Morgana, well, with her ultimate, she also wants to be up in the thick of everything. So this game going to really rely upon I think this game is entirely jungle matchup dependent. Whichever jungler is able to make things happen earlier, I think is going to win the game for their team, because they need to be able to get their team ahead. Epic, as we're in this last phase before we get into the spectator delay, do you have any thoughts about what these win conditions can be and what people can do to really prevent them?
Yeah, so the Diana is going to be looking to find engages here and find multi-man ults that can really disrupt the Yasuo from being able to find clean combos. But the Gragas can also peel and engage based on how JumpStart wants to try and play these fights out. So it really, really comes down to the positioning of these two teams and where they decide to fight.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how they work to get vision. I think Ash's Hawkshot, her E, is going to be a really valued piece of tool to use in this game to be able to find vision and prevent any flanks. And with that, we're gonna hop into a 3-minute spectator delay for competitive integrity and because Riot Client makes us. I'm Sugar Free. This is Epic. We're 1-1 in the finals for Style Esports of NESW Blizzard versus JumpStart, and we'll catch you all in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. All right, and welcome back. Epic had to step away, take care of some stuff for so I am here for solo for a few minutes until my boy Genji comes in to fill in. So for right now, like I said, JumpStart versus NESW Blizzard. It is 1-1 currently. This is game 3. Looks like NESW is waiting for an invade. They wisened up after last game and are looking for them to come in and maybe catch them all unawares. Important things to take note of. Morgana has the exhaust for the Gragas Yasuo combo. When Yasuo comes in, he can be exhausted while he's ulted. The damage doesn't come down until he lands from the ult, so having exhaust for that is very, very good. It shores up that damage very well. Meanwhile, Leo in the mid lane has also decided to take exhaust to take out all of the damage from Diana's full combo or Warwick's full combo. When I'm thinking about how these team fights go, I don't really want to see Piku Niku diving into the backline. I want to see her helping peel off the Shen, peel off the Warwick, peel off the Diana, and make sure that her Ashe can stay safe and deal the DPS, because Ashe with Bork and Runons is going to absolutely delete the enemy team. For now, though, we're just seeing some farming. I'm expecting priority to go over to JumpStart it with this Kai'Sa and Morgana double ranged into Leona. Ashe usually has a pretty good time. And in the top lane, hopefully Urgot will be able to have some priority because for the same reason, ranged into melee. Leo hits level 2 first, gets a nice trade onto Diana, and it looks like they're getting level 2 first, going in. This might be a kill onto Morgana. She gets level 2. Ignite goes down. Ashe still autoing. Exhaust goes off. Flash away. Does the Ignite get her? Ignite gets her. Leona with the first blood, getting level 2, not respecting it from JumpStart. And NESW Blizzard gets Summoner advantage, gets first blood, going over to Piku Niku. Great early game start out of them. And with that bit of action down now, should just be looking to shove in the waves. Junglers getting onto their third camps. Warwick, a bit of a faster clear than Gragas. Might be because, I don't know if Luka Doncic has ever played Gragas before in his life, but really, pressing R, not that hard. And there we see Windwall comes out to block the Q. Diana has lots of mana problems, especially early on, especially because she doesn't build a lot of mana items. So being able to block a Q is a big deal. And Warwick flashes in, tries to go on it. Diana ease in. Okay, just the flash out of Warwick for Yasuo's flash. Looks like Leo is going to back and say, okay, Warwick, you got me. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic going to finish clearing, doing a full clear of his jungler, probably look to back, grab boots, and then go for that bot lane scuttle because his bot lane has priority. The big problem right now, bot lane, back, grab boots, and then go for that bot lane scuttle because his bot lane has priority. The big problem right now, bot lane really needs to be able to shove in this wave, get it to reset so that it can be in a good position for when the Gragas gets here. And that is exactly what they are doing. Make sure that it gets into tower, and now go and protect the Scuttle Crab for their jungler, whom they love so very much. Looks like It looks like they both have wards up. Would love to see them walk in because they knew Warwick is on top side. Walk in and drop a deeper ward onto the Grump. Getting a ward into the entrance into the river from blue is also pretty good from Pikuniku. If they look to hold this wave right now, Yasuo and Gragas could both come down as we see Warwick setting up, looking for a gank on top. But he sits on a ward, unshackled, dashes away, and everything is good to go. Scuttle Crab secured for Gragas, and everything looking copacetic. Ashe has a big CS lead. Is the Black Shield going to go down? Nope. Black Shield blocks all of it, but still a very good trade, as trades are happening everywhere, and it looks like NESW is winning every single trade and winning in farm. Gragas, having seen Warwick up on that top side ward that Unshackled had dropped, goes ahead, steals away the Grump, gets that camp lead, and is now looking for a gank, but it looks like they are having some internet issues and need to reset their internet. So hey everybody, how's it going?
It's going
Y'all
well.
having a good time?
We're having a great time.
Oh, Genji, just in time. Welcome to the cast. This is Genji.
Hello.
This is the chat. This is the game. So far, pretty good out of NESW. Able to find a kill early on in the bot lane, and looks like they're setting up a play on mid lane, but they are having some ping problems.
Yeah, I can see.
And looks like we're in a lull waiting for that. So,
Yeah.
Genji, how's life?
Life is good. Life is good. I just got off work and realized I got the lovely chance to co-cast with my absolute favorite person in the world, Sir Boomerhand's Sugar Free over here.
That's me. That's me, chat. In case anybody was wondering, that's
You
me.
didn't introduce yourself? How did
Oh,
you?
no,
introduce yourself
I did.
to that? Oh, okay.
I did. I mean,
I
without the Sir Boomer hands, but I did. And I'm just reminding them. I'm making sure that they know that I am Genji's favorite.
Come on. We should expect chat at this point to be so well-mannered that they should know every single person who's been introduced on stream ever.
I mean, that's true, and I think they do, but I mostly just wanted them to know that I'm your favorite.
You can say that again one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
All right. Thank
So,
you, producer voice.
Hey, he did say only we could hear him, so chat can't hear anything we're hearing right now.
But
why don't you get me updated, Sugar Free? How are things going?
Yeah. So game 1, NESW blew them the heck out. It was a stomp. It was not a contest. Game 2, JumpStart blew them the heck out. It was not even a contest. It was a stomp. And now we're here in game 3, where NESW has gotten off to a good start. And from the NESW side, hoping that it continues. JumpStart has shown a proclivity to creating these very heavy dive compositions, which you can see with Warwick and Shen and Diana and Kaisa. And meanwhile, NESW has drafted some counter engage as well as some disengage, and it looks like JumpStart is now ready, and we're just waiting on NESW to say that they are also ready to go, and then we can get back into this.
Sounds good, but Sugar Free, there's one more thing that needs readying, and that is my internet, because I'm currently seeing the cast in apparently a very nice 144p. I cannot even tell which champions are on the screen, much less read the names. So if you would give me a second, restart my Discord, I'll be right back.
And there he goes. There he goes. No. I'm gonna do there goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. And it looks like the unpause has come through. Alright, Genji, fixing his internet. We are back in game. Gragas setting up a gank onto the mid lane, and looks like he goes in, lands the tornado. Diana does not have flash, and Luka Doncic picks it up. A kill right onto the Diana. Exactly what Dr. NESW ordered. That's exactly what Drew ordered. You know, he said, guys, this game, kill the Diana. Like, right now, kill the Diana. And Luka Doncic obliges because he is a good member of the NESW org. He lands from Unshackled, taunts out, and looks like he has a really, really nice wave state for the time being. Genji, are you there? Are you back, my friend?
I am back. The last thing I heard while I was disconnecting was your beautiful voice singing. What an amazing melody. Unfortunately, my screen right now is still at a solid 144p. So it seems like I will have to be predicting all of the champion names and moves and calling them while all I see are huge blocks of RGB.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love RGB like the next one. If you can, try loading up League at the same time and watching it from the client on your side. Drew is our host and will continue to do so, but this way we can also look up, you know, things that are necessary. As, you know, like right now, we see Dragon being started up by JumpStart because they had the better back timing. Their bot lane backed first. Looking for this fight would not be a good thing for NESW. And Pikuniku might be getting caught out by a binding. Warwick turns on his W. And looks like Warwick bit off more than he can shoot. Luka Doncic still going. Morgana doesn't have flash up just yet, and it's a double kill for Ashe. So JumpStart picks up the Dragon, but they do not get anything else. In fact, they lose 2 members. So this early game going almost exactly as NESW wanted. They really would have wanted that Dragon, but getting a couple kills, getting some gold onto this Ashe, getting her jump started, definitely take that every single day of the week. On top of that, it looked like Luka Doncic was able to steal away the blue buff and hit level 6 first. Maybe he just takes Scuttlecrap and rotates into mid lane because he knows Diana doesn't have flash and just looks to set up another kill onto the Diana with this Gragas Yasuo combination. And that looks like exactly what he's doing. He's pathing there right now. Ult goes in, Shen ult down, Diana ult misses, Warwick is here, Shen is here, nothing happens, just Gragas and Yasuo ult blown, Shen ult, a much longer cooldown, Diana ult, much longer cooldown, and NESW takes the win. As Gragas just goes back to farming, one of his favorite things. You know, some people say that Gragas really loves to drink. I think that's wrong. Gragas loves to eat. He loves to eat those camps, nom 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 nom, all day, every day. Take a drink every now and then just to get it down. Sort of like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I don't know if you ever watched Joey Chestnut, but it's usually like hot dog in, and then he like forces a glass of water in behind it. It's honestly a little disgusting, but really impressive too.
Now, Sugar, I have a question. You do say, all right, you say that Gragas loves to eat instead of drink, but how do you know that when he's farming, Gragas isn't actually just drinking all of the monster's blood? You know, the jungle camps, he just...
There already is a vampire in the game. That's how I know he's eating. He goes to the bar. He doesn't, you know... He doesn't go to the castle. He doesn't hang out with Dracula. He doesn't do any of that.
Well,
don't be ridiculous, Genji.
Of course. I'm sorry. I shouldn't realize that Gragas doesn't live in Transylvania. My apologies.
Oh, dive getting set up in bot lane. Looks like a gank is being set up in top lane. Can Unshackled get out of this? Flash taunt from Shen missed. And looks like just a free kill set up for, oh my god, Flash E out of Gragas. Don't ult off of that. And no ult follow-up off of that. Just Morgana killed on the bottom. Unshackled killed in the top lane. And everything is looking A-okay. I think we lost Genji, but I'm not sure. And it looks like we're just fighting. Diana's going in, looks to ult, is ulted by Ashe, ulted by Leona. Leona's still tanking, looks like she's going to die. Good stopwatch comes out. Yasuo's still going. They are still going for this dive as the ult was still up from Yasuo that entire time. And Urgot is now going in. He lands the ult, needs a little bit more damage to be able to pull him in, and gets it. And that is a very delayed 4 kills for 1. Unshackled had gone down initially, and then everyone except for Warwick on the side of JumpStart also followed up in dying, up to a 4.5k gold lead for NESW. Early game, mwah, chef's kiss. We love it.
Well, Sugar Free, I finally loaded into the game, and what can I say? A welcome sight to see as NESW is just straight up almost 4 or 5k ahead of JumpStart. What a beautiful play.
You just missed a lot of action. You are not going to be able to cast any other fights for the rest of the game. I think that was the last fight. It has to be that way. You know, it must.
I guess the game has just been decided. Congratulations, New England. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope, they still need to play out these team fights correctly. There is still a lot of damage coming out of the side of JumpStart. They still have plenty of tools to make opportunities happen. What I really need to see is NESW securing this dragon so they can start stacking up the Dragon Soul win con. Seeing Luka Doncic taking his wolves right now doesn't inspire a lot of faith, especially because Ashe had just gotten her Bork, so she is significantly stronger than the Kai'Sa, who is still sitting on tier pickaxe and not the man immune.
Absolutely good observation. One thing I am curious, though, is why Red Team isn't exactly trying to make a play and go for Dragon. Warwick still has his Rift Herald that he got from earlier. He could be using it to push out mid, maybe not as much bot since Kai'Sa is that half item behind, but you know, maybe using that Herald, but it looks like they are coming for a gank onto bot lane. Warwick is jumping in, Leona uses her ult, Warwick uses his ult and takes down Ashe. The Ashe wasn't able to flash away. Yomi. Not quite sure what was going on there, but Red Side does put down the Rift Herald, and now they are going to drag, just like I said. Can NESW contest this?
Looks like NESW made the decision to not go for the dragon. Yomi gets caught out by the Warwick. I think in those types of situations, when the Warwick is getting in range or starting to get in range, you need to Ashe Arrow early in order to try and keep him from getting in range to ult you. If you lose the cooldown, it doesn't matter nearly as much, and a dive is being set up top.
Yeah, it looks like they use all their ults. Wow, a combination of all 3 ults. Gragas ult into Yasuo into Urgot ult, and Shen is taken down. Just like, this is where, when you are the Shen, you just type in chat, why use all 3 ultimates on me? Lol, GG.
Exactly. And off of that, Urgot, a fantastic turret taker because he just attacks so rapidly. They're able to get 3 plates off of that play, plus the kill. Meanwhile, Diana is able to get 3 plates as well. Warwick is looking for blood, but without ult, I don't think he's going to be able to find anything.
Yeah,
and
Warwick seemed to try to want to scare them off and then just ended up taking a little bit more damage than he expected. But it looks like Leo is trying to go in on the Yasuo for the all-in of Diana. She has no mana, but she does dodge the Q from Yasuo.
Meanwhile, because Morgana had made that full roam up to top lane, thinking that there was going to be more happening, more plates went down for Yomi and Pikuniku in the bot lane. So far, look, giving up the first 2 dragons, not ideal for NESW, but they've gotten everybody to their first item. They are all strong. They are all ahead in terms of gold. And now they just need to start finding fights that will allow them to close out the game.
Absolutely. You look at the 3 gold leads. Oh, I will interrupt that as the Leona does go in. The Shen ultimate does come out. Are they going to fight here? NASW looks like they're about to fight against JumpStart. The Gragas EQ comes in and almost takes down the Morgana. She does not die. Oh, yes, she does. And Kai'Sa's also dead. Looks like Shen's ult was canceled. I'm not sure if it was by Urgot's E or something, but it looks like he's also going in. Ults the Shen immediately. The Shen has to flash away. Will he get enough damage to ult him away? Will he? Does the W and walks away.
No. But Warwick is up there. Misses the
ult. Oh man, are they gonna go for this? It looks like Unshackled is gonna try to get his way out. He ease out, and no, there is no follow-up.
Really? So the way that they played that fight down in bot lane for NESW was chef's kiss. Yomi
Yes.
recognizing the Kaisa doesn't have Black Shield, goes, ults
Mhm.
it, Leona ults, Gragas ults, perfect. But
Absolutely.
Unshackled being able to first interrupt the Shen ult so he doesn't come through and save them all.
Oh!
E-flash misses, ult goes out.
But Yasuo is ulting in. They don't get it. The Gragas ult was close.
The
Or the
Gragas ult
Gragas flash.
was very good. Yasuo needed to wait a little bit longer so that Diana would have been pushed further away from the turret when Yasuo ulted.
Absolutely. Still, it was a good attempt.
Good attempt, and previously really good from Unshackled to be able to not just stop the Shen ult, not just almost force a kill, but also get out of the gank that would have been a return kill as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I did want to point out is take a look at the gold difference for all three lanes in bot lane, top lane, and mid lane. It looks like NESW just has above a 1k gold lead in every single position and almost in the jungle as well.
Single fight should be a win. The only way that JumpStart, this is looking like game 1, which is to say that the only way JumpStart can win fights is if they have a numbers advantage. And having a Shen means that they can get that, but it's going to be very difficult to find because NESW has ways of outplaying it.
Absolutely. And just as we see
trade.
here, well, the Shen is able to use his W to mitigate most of the auto attacks, which is what I think you should be doing as Shen, but now it looks like Leona has moved up to help push the turret out, and Shen can do nothing but back.
Meanwhile, Gragas is going to take the Rift Herald. Ashe is going to take the mid lane. I don't like these lane assignments are a little sketchy. Leo, it has coming.
He's about to get 1v3. Oh, he flashes out, which is great.
God.
Oh, that was close.
Leo actually outplayed that so hard. He windwalled the initial Q. Arrow misses, but he windwalled the initial Q, E'd to dash the Warwick ult, and then tried to flash away, but the Warwick Fierce still caught him, which meant that Kaisa was able to ult on top of him, and he died.
Absolutely.
But still, really close. They take the top. NESW still takes the top turret, takes the Rift Herald, which should let them take the mid turret. Bot turret's already gone. Still a net very positive play for NESW.
Yeah, and in any case where you have a 3v1 and still you have to waste two members, the AD and the jungle's flash, just for the mid lane's flash, I would say that's not a net positive at all for JumpStart. So Leo did play that very well and showing his mechanics on Yasuo. Oh, but it looks like Diana's going in here. Shen ult is coming out. It looks like Luka Doncic is caught. He is going to Zanya's, but will it be enough? No, he will be taken out. But NESW is choosing to fight this anyways. It seems like both the Leona and the Urgot get feared, but it looks like they are able to take out Warwick, and NESW seems to have turned this around because Leo is going in on Yasuo, and now they've taken down the Kaisa, and they have taken down the Shen. What an absolute team fight turnaround from NESW. Great plays all around, and now they secure the dragon.
Didn't notice the stopwatch on the Gragas and thought maybe they could get a pick so that they could still get the dragon, but they didn't have all of their ultimates up. Their Warwick ultimate was still down from the previous fight. The timing wasn't quick enough. Yasuo and Urgot, who were coming from base, were able to get there in time, and NESW far enough ahead. Ashe untouched, just massive team fight win. Break this mid turret on the back of this as well, and this is very much looking like an NESW win.
Yeah, forgive me if I'm wrong, but did Morgana have her Zanya's there? Because she still has Flash Ultimate. I feel like that might have been a very different team fight if she had just walked up ulted and forced it out, forced NESW backwards.
She did not. She only had the broken stopwatch. The Zonya's was not completed yet. But if it was, then yes, that could have made a huge difference.
Very unfortunate.
And it looks like Morgana and Kaisa are trying to set up a freeze in top lane. But I want to see it. This is an LS freeze. I want to see NESW recognize this and immediately walk to Baron. Okay, Kaisa and Morgana have broken it. They've decided, nope, that's a bad idea.
Do you think they decided or they just messed up?
I think they decided. There was no way to mess up that freeze, but they definitely decided.
All right. But it looks like Gragas is trying to gank top. He does go in, hits the E instant Yasuo ult. Gragas seems to have been saving his ultimate, but Shen does flash out. Now they do use the Rift Herald top, but Warwick seems to want to go in. He ults onto Gragas for some reason. This
my God, the arrow from downtown.
Yeah, and now the arrow does hit the Diana. She gets hit by the Q. She seems to be taking a ton of damage. Will she be able to do any? And no, just seemingly
JumpStart
uh
has the right idea and looking for desperation fights, but they're not looking for the correct desperation fights. They're just going one after another, one for one, rather than looking
yeah.
to make a 3 or 4-man play on a 2 or 3-man unit.
They're definitely not very coordinated in that sense, seemingly just going in one-on-one. But it looks like Leona's going in. She used the ultimate, and she gets the stun off of Shen. Will Shen die from this? He seems to be able to taunt his way out, and Jumpstart is coming in. But there seems to be just too much damage from Yomi and Leo. It seems like they are just taking out all the carries one by one, and Leo gets out alive using the power of Yasuo. 2 OP, guys. Bandit champion.
Think NESW dove a little bit deep. Yes, they went ahead on kills, but they weren't able to get that inhibitor turret, which I think should have been the real prize. Morgana was able to kill off the Gragas, so a bit of an overreach, and we saw this from NESW in game 1 as well. Hopefully now they'll be like, okay guys, let's stop trolling, let's close out the game cleanly. Next thing up, they should be able to walk to Baron and either get a fight of their choice and win that way, or just take the Baron and then win using the Baron, because there is no way that in a grouped scenario, JumpStart can even think about contesting NESW.
Come on, Sugar Free. Don't you have those moments where you and your team are just super fed and you smell blood in the air and the enemy is running with their tails between their legs?
Never. I would never make that mistake.
Well,
Lightning has never made that mistake.
Well, there you have it. A man who is incredibly clean in all areas, the perfect League of Legends player, Sugar Free.
I'm also very humble. It's one of my best qualities.
Right. We can actually tell from your casting that you are just incredibly humble. Just no sense of arrogance in you at all.
My humility. I'm attractive. I'm a good League of Legends player. I mean, I've really got it all.
See, what doesn't Sir Boomer Hands have? Oh, we do get the mutual stun as the supports say hello to each other, but it looks like NESW may have gone in too quickly, but they do have the follow-up damage from Yomi and Gragas. Oh, wow, this is just absolute stomp. Shen is trying to hit the blast plant, but he doesn't even get the chance. Will Gragas take it? They basically just ace the entire enemy team. What do you even say to that?
Exactly. And what we have to say is, it's basically just that they had a good look. JumpStart had a good look. That fight started off 3v2, but Diana's build doesn't deal enough damage yet because there's only 4 stacks on her Roa. Doesn't deal enough damage to be able to instantly pop them. If she did, then maybe it's a different outcome. Maybe it's a different game. But without it, it's just kind of doomed.
Absolutely.
And Baron goes over, and they're going to walk down. They're going to clean up this dragon as well, and then back, get their items, and everybody's going to walk in together. Everyone's going to hold hands, and it's just going to be game over.
Sugar Free, I don't even know in what case you would not, like, you said they would be kind of doomed, you know, like, in what case would they be not doomed, right? I feel like once you're doomed, you're doomed. There is no kinda.
There's always the chance that NESW, you know, does the big dumb.
And the big dumb.
The big dumb, and they try like 5 consecutive 1v5s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or 6, because Leo is the first one to try it. He dies and comes back and then tries the 1v5 again. Right? So 6 1v5s in a row, and they lose them all because like 1v5ing is not a good idea. Don't do it, kids.
I mean,
so like if they do that, then there's a chance.
I mean, at this point, I'm willing to believe that Urgot can actually 1v5 the entire JumpStart lineup.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I have faith in Unshackled, but I'm not sure if I have faith in Urgot the champion. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. But we will see as NESW come to take this second mid turret with their Baron buff. They are just taking a clean sweep, pushing on all 3 fronts, as it seems like...
It's making my heart sing. It's a perfect 1-3-1 setup. Everyone's waves are crashing at the same time. No one is playing unsafe. No one is trying to 1v5. Oh, it looks like they took a page out of Lightning's book.
Yeah, well done. Absolutely well done. And Lightning, being the perfect model of performance, is
Oh
now
my god.
smiling happily as Blizzard is
Share
going.
out.
Wow, the Warwick flashes in, but Yomi just happens to have a great Ashel. The Urgot flashes in after he ults the Warwick and just takes down Kai'Sa immediately. The Diana does go in. She does not get her ult off and deal any damage to Zhonya's, but dies immediately afterwards, and Morgana will do the same. Shen will be the last to follow, but NESW turns their attention to the Nexus turrets. It looks like this will be GG for NESW as Shen does a cheeky recall in their face.
That's going to be the end of the game. That's 2-1 up for Blizzard. This is a best of 5. It's 2-1 Blizzard. Great game 3, reminiscent of game 1. Let's see if in game 4, when I expect them to swap sides back, let's see if they can have a similar draft, similar game plan, and come out and just absolutely stomp Jumpstart and end this series before we have to play the Silver Scrapes. I'm Sugar Free. I'm Sugar Free. This is Genji. We're going to take a break before the next draft. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you guys later. All right, and welcome back, everybody, to Game 4 of the Style Esports Finals between NESW Blizzard and Jumpstart. So far, score is 2-1 in favor of Blizzard. Blue side has won every game. Just so that everybody knows, draft has already been done, so we're just going to be watching it. We've seen it already. We're going to see the draft, see what's going on, talk some team comps, and I'm here with my buddy Genji, and we're here to have a good time, see if NESW Blizzard can close it out.
Yeah, we are here to have a good time. Well said, Sugar Free. I'm excited to see if Blizzard is able to knock this one out and close the door on Jumpstart's faces. Looks like they are starting off by banning out Master Yi, Ash, Hecarim, Silas, Galio. Very, very interesting bans. What do you think?
I said the Master Yi, but I think Master Yi has been something that that NESW has banned every game, and I think they misclicked because Silas is usually banned away. So they're just going to be picking an order here. All of the bans so far. I think
they did misclick.
It's a misclick.
Wow.
Stinky.
Oh my goodness, Sugar Free. Well, while we wait for them to get back into lobby and champ select, why don't we discuss what worked the last couple of games for Blizzard and how you think that they might be able to close this out against Jumpstart?
Sure, for sure. It's a good question, good thing to ask. The team that has had more engaged tools and has had a better early game has won every single game. So in this draft, I cheated. I peeked. In this draft, you will see both sides again picking dive type compositions, looking to engage, looking to start fights on their terms, and not wait for the enemy team to walk in first. Which has proven to be very, very important because both of these teams are always ready, willing, and wanting to take fights. So being able to have a strong early game transition into take fights whenever you want seems to be the formula of success for both sides.
Absolutely. We can see that whichever team seems to have gotten the early game lead is able to just run away with the game. I saw barely in game 2 when it seems that Jumpstart were able to collapse onto Luka Doncic and catch him out in the jungle, in their own jungle, and then the game sort of just went blowout from there.
Exactly. And this game, you see a little bit of a change-up on both sides. Jumpstart, I think, is playing champions that they haven't played all series, while Luka Doncic, who has popped off on the Gragas and popped off on the Hecarim, has now been told, you know what? You're a Sejuani player now.
I have to wonder whether he asked for that himself or the team just assigned it to him. I mean, he did do most damage last game as Gragas, so putting Sejuani duty seems a little bit confusing to me.
Honestly, it was probably a little bit of both. Luka Doncic is always a team player. The other good part about this is that Sejuani, as a mid-jungle duo with Echo, is very, very strong because they proc Sejuani's stun, her E, very, very quickly, which is something that they're going to want to do in the early game against this Mordekaiser. What we're seeing is JumpStart has put together a bunch of beefcakes.
Yeah.
And that's going to make it a little bit difficult for Echo to find fights. So it's going to be very important for him to find a flank while Sejuani and Urgot walk in from the front.
Absolutely. Last two bans coming in are Wukong and see that correctly? Is that Renekton on the blue side?
Yes.
All right, and then I really cannot. Is that Camille? That's Camille, right?
Oriana. Wukong
Oriana.
Oriana from NESW Blizzard being banned, and Renekton Annie, because I think, again, some bands accidentally mixed up. But we're seeing Yomi come out on the Kaisa because they had picked the Twitch and Lulu on the side of JumpStart. So NESW has Kaisa Nautilus. This lane has a lot of kill pressure. Look for Sejuani to never visit topside and only visit mid and bottom, because they both are very good setup for Sejuani. And Lulu, Twitch, and Mordekaiser, fun fact, none of them have a good way to escape ganks, especially when there's a Nautilus hook coming at you.
Right. We will see if Blizzard is able to break through this bot lane and let it take over the game. Sugar Free, why don't you tell me how well does Kaisa stack into 3 tanks in the top side of the map, though?
It's Kaisa's dream. Kaisa loves playing against tanks. The thing that is going to be dangerous for her is if Twitch is allowed to hit her. If Kaisa is left untouched by Twitch, she can actually, if played correctly, she can 1v3 against Set, Volibear, and Mordekaiser. Their range of engage is primarily lower than her auto attack range.
Right.
Which makes it very easy for her. I'm really hoping that we will see a Manamune Ginsu's and then a third item Runons out of her. Because if she gets Runons, Set, Volibear, Mordekaiser are all going to die in it. If she's seeing that she's just getting popped by Twitch, or, Volibear is flashing on her and then the next fight Set's flashing on her, maybe she goes for a Phantom Dancer. But I really want to see her go for a Runons to be able to spread her passive around, which just absolutely shreds tanks.
Yeah, she will demolish all 3 tanks in team fights. But on the other side, JumpStart, if Blizzard will be focusing bot lane, does Volibear do the same, or does he instead try to get Set Mordekaiser ahead?
He kind of has to. Ganking from Mordekaiser, he can look mid lane because it's a melee matchup. Volibear running at Urgot without flash up is tough, but if he has flash up, can definitely kill. So both of these junglers have lanes that they can look for, but I think if both sides had to say, this is the one lane that I want to get ahead, because if this one lane gets ahead, then the game is over, I think both of them would choose bot lane. So expect to see fireworks and some sparklers and some Roman candles and some other explosive things that are really shiny, all happening in the bot lane the entire game.
Yeah, well, let's hope Luka Doncic brought the Firecracker Sejuani skin, because that's probably what's going to be happening all over the early game.
Skin is so good. It is my favorite Sejuani skin.
Really? I don't know.
Big time. The pig is cute as hell.
I mean, there's that, but it doesn't really fit Sejuani's theme, I feel like she's supposed to be a battle-hardened warrior with a crazy battle boar that wants to rip you to shreds, but instead, in that skin, she has a
I bet you don't like Definitely Not Udyr.
That's true. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm also not a big
Oh my god,
not
Genji!
or definitely not Vel'Koz. Those skins, unfortunate.
I'm tilted.
Oh, what do you
I
mean?
can't believe you've done this.
Well, what about this? What about this? What if I say my favorite skin is Pajama Guardian Urgot? What do you say to that?
I would say that's a good decision because that's a fantastic skin.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. See, I'm not always a hater of all those funny looking skins. The Pajama Guardian Urgot is very well done. We can only hope that that SW Unshackled did bring that skin, but if not, looks like all the fireworks will only be in bot lane.
If not, it's just the BG. If he brought it, maybe Luka Doncic will visit top lane. But if he didn't, there's no chance.
Oh wow! Now it looks like you're just taking over comms for NESW Blizzard, huh?
He brought the Pajama Guardian cosplay Urgot. Okay.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It's okay. It's saved. It's saved.
There is no skin on said money.
No skin. I'm disappointed in Luka Doncic.
I mean, what can we say? I feel like the bot lane really is the focal point of this. Just take a look at the champion screen. We have both bot lanes with full skins on, and the rest of the map is just a little bit of lopsided in terms of who has skins and who doesn't. But we are getting into the game as we load on to put what is potentially the last game of this series. 2-1 in favor of NESW Blizzard. Let's see if they can bring it home.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it. Some interesting things that I noticed in terms of runes. Luka Doncic on Sejuani, most of the time, will usually opt for Presence of Mind or Triumph and Legend Tenacity, but recognizing that there is very little hard CC on the side of JumpStart, decides to go into the Domination Tree secondary for what I presume is Zombie Ward and probably Cheap Shot, which gives him a little bit of extra damage when he's dueling, which may be all important when he's fighting against this Volibear.
Interesting. Will he even want to be fighting against this Volibear, though? If Volibear doesn't go bot, I feel like Sejuani just has free roam.
Exactly. Sejuani doesn't want to match the Volibear, but more so, she wants to be able to impact bot lane. Like, she wants to hit level 6, because once she hits level 6, that is free bot lane all day, every day. There is no way of getting it out of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Leo taking some damage early, but also looks like they're getting some quick damage off in the top lane with a nice trade between Urgot and Set.
Urgot was able to proc to press the attack, so wins out. Unfortunately, he took the true damage from the Set W. If he was able to dodge that, that would have been a really big one trade for him.
Mm-hmm. One thing I want to call attention to is the fact that both junglers have used their wards. Luka Doncic put his in top river brush, while Volibear, Samira player, put his near right outside of his red buff. I'm not quite sure if that's an optimal place to put your ward as a jungler.
Probably expecting Echo. Echo has very good wave clear early, especially compared to a Mordekaiser. So was thinking maybe Echo is going to look to walk into his jungle along with the Sejuani and wants to protect against that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm really scared of for NESW right now is Volibear did a full red clear and could look for a level 3 gank. Hook misses.
Oh,
and it looks like they're going in.
Yeah. There is a ward on the red side, but it seems like JumpStart is trying to get a trade off. They do get some return damage, but I think overall it seems JumpStart got the better of that trade.
Yep, and Volibear has recognized bot lane is where he needs to be. Looks for a level 3 gank. The early ward coming out of Pikuniku spots it, and they know that he's down there. They know they play safe, and they will be fine. Good buffer out of Unshackled to get out of that trade.
Well played, well played. He does take a W to the face, though, so I wouldn't say that the trade is good overall.
But as Stormwolves has complete vision of this Volibear, this should be a topside clear take for Luka Doncic. This is enormous for the Sejuani player. He can get an enormous lead. He can either go in and steal the blue and or Gromp, or look for top lane.
Yeah, we can already see he's 8 CS ahead as the JumpStart jungler tries to invade with his bot lane, but finding nothing as Sejuani, like you said, is doing a full clear of his top side, or at least getting his blue buff.
This is an absolute coup for the Sejuani. Volibear is significantly stronger at this level, and Sejuani's going to come in for the top side gank. Big wave here, but may still be able to look for it.
Will they be able to get it? Looks like she does get the stun onto him. Oh, there's a flash from the Urgot. Set uses his W, but it looks like he's about to use his flash as well. Sejuani gets the slow onto him, but Volibear flashes on. They do get a kill in bot lane, but it looks like now Urgot is trying to chase after the Set. He does have an extraordinarily amount of health regen, though, and it looks like Sejuani is just going to get chased down by this Volibear as Urgot just seems going in. Now the mid laners are here. They're doing damage to the Set, and he is taken down. But is Urgot next? Sejuani comes in with a nice dash, and it looks like they're about to get clean out of this one. No, Sejuani does die, but now it is 2-on-1 potentially. As Echo is running out of mana, they do get the E onto the Mordekaiser, but is he able to go out alive? Oh, Leo does dodge the Q from the Mordekaiser, and he does get the kill. And he also escapes the Set E. Well played by Leo.
Genji, I'm going to say this. This has been a very good start to the game for NESW Blizzard. They were able to make a 2v2 fight happen, which definitely is possible when you have Nautilus Kai'Sa into Twitch Lulu. And the top lane play got really, really extended, but because of Echo's ability to constantly outshove a Mordekaiser and nobody having ults, they were able to collapse. They lost Luka Doncic. They got kills on every single member that they want them to. An absolute coup, not to mention the fact that Volibear is 3 camps down in his clear speed.
Exactly.
He's looking for another gank because he knows he cannot keep up in farm against the Sejuani at this point in time. Sejuani walking down, maybe sniffing out that it's time for a counter gank.
Very well played by the bot lane, but it looks like Volibear is coming in for a gank, and Sejuani is coming over. The Nautilus does get polymorphed, and it looks like he's about to get chunked down, but Sejuani does show up. Do they get a return kill? They do not get... Oh, they flashed in from Yomi, and it looks like they are going to get another switch. Wow, looks like this will just be a cleanup over for the NESW bot lane. Well played on that counter gank by Luka Doncic, and Yomi is able to clean up 2 more kills.
Sure, if they had a ward on it, or Luka Doncic just smelled out and said, look, he has to be looking for a gank on bot lane. That's their only play right now. But the fact that he was there and they were able to make that play, so I don't want to say it because it's, 6 minutes in, but a 3.5K gold lead, I'm saying this is kind of the nail in the coffin. Like,
already? You're just this confident. Oh, well, Mordekaiser walks up for some reason, gets caught easily. Is he going to die here? He ults the Kai'Sa and is trying to get some auto attacks and a Q on her. She seems to just be running away, but will she be able to kill him, or will he be able to get a Q off? He does kill off the Kai'Sa within the ult! Oh my god, and now is he going to be able to solo off the Nautilus? The Nautilus looks like he's just going to auto him to death, but it looks like there's a fight down in bot lane, and it looks like they are cleaning up. They get a kill onto the Twitch, and Leo just gets a double kill in terms of cleaning up.
Jumpstart, you must slow down the pace of the game. You have a Twitch and you have 3 tanks. 3 tanks or bruisers. Slow down the game. Stop taking fights. Look to avoid every single fight that you can. Force the enemy team to dive you and then outplay them when they dive. Outplay NESW when they need to dive. This Volibear has still only taken 5 camps. Still level 4. Sejuani has already hit level 6. Sejuani has the most farm in the game outside of the Echo. Like, that is absurd. It's a Sejuani. That should never, ever happen.
Luka Doncic is showing that the team was not wrong to put him on Sejuani. He says, hey, I'll make just as big of an impact. I'll deal just as much damage. I'll farm just as much as I did on the Gragas. Now with the NESW Blizzard with such a commanding lead, 5K gold ahead by 8 minutes. What is this?
Done out of Echo. Nice trade.
Yeah, it looks like Leo is just going to get some...
The only one that doesn't have... Oh! Kai'Sa goes in with the ult. Ignite down.
Does he get a kill? Yeah, Lulu is forced to burn the flash and the Guardian on that.
And the heal. Heal comes out, saves the Lulu. Yeah, every single person except for Urgot, who I believe is sitting on some gold, every single person has a full completed item. Proto Belt, Cinder Hulk, and Manamune.
Yeah, will Leo be going for this? No, he will not. As Volibear comes
Look at
to
how
the
low
rescue.
Lulu is right now.
Absolutely. She takes one
That's
Kaisa
skill.
W to the face. Oh! Well played by Leo. Just continuously hitting all these W's onto the Mordekaiser. The Mordekaiser really just not respecting that at all. As bot lane goes in for the dive, will they get the auto off? Oh, it seems like Pikuniku wasn't able to get the auto off, and now she's trying to flash onto the Twitch. She gets the E slow. No, she does not, but they do get the auto off. Can they finally kill the Twitch? No, the Lulu does shield that. Looks like the target selection on the NESW Blizzard bot lane is just split, and Kaisa does get a return kill onto the Twitch as he flashes in for the auto.
It's like they're going on the set, still going. Urgot flashes in.
Oh, this is not looking good for JumpStart at all. The set has to flash away, but now it does look like Blizzard are slightly low health. They do get the stun on, but I think Leo will be left to die. Actually, he does his flash. Will he be able to get out? Set is now being jumped on by the Sejuani.
Kill too. Mordekaiser tried to cage Leo, but as everybody in NESW knows, you cannot cage Leo, the monkey man himself. Wait, Twitch is here. Twitch is level 5. Luka Doncic is dead. Wait, Blizzard, you're taking fights that you don't need to.
Wow.
NESW Blizzard gets picked out. They lose some fights. They're 6K up, but they're playing really fiesta. They need to make sure that they take their time and just close out this game correctly. Yes, they're ahead, but it's very easy to fall behind against a comp like JumpStart's.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And now it looks like Volibear has summoned up the Rift Herald. They're trying to take down some turret plates in mid lane.
Good ult out from Yomi.
One thing I want to pull your attention to is the fact that there are 23 kills within an 11-minute game. Sugar Free, do you call this a bonobo performance or what?
I mean, apes strong together. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah.
Oh, the ult just barely misses from Sejuani, but gets the stun off. Echo still has ult, and a double kill for Sejuani. Another fight in bot lane.
This is just... Oh, wow. I think in the end, Kaisa was very, very close. She almost didn't get the fourth auto or the proc auto off onto the Twitch. That might have looked a little bit different if she didn't, but still very well played. And Blizzard is just winning on all sides. They're just straight up, 8K gold ahead and about to get their second Drake.
To have 5 matchups that they are comfortable in, and they're just taking it to them. They're just saying, we are better, we are going to win, and they are just winning every matchup. If you'll do me a solid, take a quick look at the Twitch's CS. Twitch is not having a good time.
Yeah, it's just like one of those games when you have an AFK bot laner and then he comes back 15 minutes into the game, and then by the end of 10 minutes, he'll probably have the same amount of CS that Twitch does.
Pretty much. Volibear hasn't been able to find anything this game. His bot lane had no setup for him. Mordekaiser's setup against Echo is impossible. Set is going to have a hard time catching up to...
Oh, but it looks like they are able to catch out the Nautilus. The Nautilus does try to shield, and he blows his stopwatch, or the stone plate, but it looks like he might not be able to get out. Can they do any damage to him? They finally do take him out, but it looks like the rest of NESW Blizzard is here with Leo coming in. Kaisa ults onto the Twitch. Will she be able to take him out? And it looks like she does, and now it's just cleanup time for NESW Blizzard. Sejuani does try to get out. Will you be able to avoid this? Gets caught by the East, so Mordekaiser does take her out, but now he does have to face the Echo and the Kaisa, and he just cannot deal with it. Now Kaisa is trying to die? Well...
auto on the Lulu would have finished her off, but NESW is just saying, look, there's nothing that you can do. Pikuniku Oh my god.
Yeah,
Pikuniku
Leo.
bought so much time with that stopwatch, holding her ability, proc the aftershock at the correct time, then ulted, got 3 people knocked up with it, bought enough time for her team to collapse and just get the W on the backside.
Yeah, and it's to the point where Echo or Leo's Mage Eyes is even stacked up to 22. It's just, I
Oh my
think this
god.
is, I think this is,
I said it a few minutes ago. I said it about 5 minutes ago.
yeah.
They currently have a 10k gold lead. What I want to see, being a part of NESW, what I really want to see, like I'm really happy of them so far. I want to see them close this out slowly as another fight breaks out.
Yeah, it looks like they're running and Urgot does get the ulti onto the Twitch, but I think it's just mainly for disengage as Set and Twitch don't try to go any further. I don't know if I was mistaken, or tell me if I was mistaken, but I'm pretty sure NESW could have fought that.
They did not have ultimates up. They didn't know who else was up, but instead they just found a rat.
Yeah, Twitch is just, man, this Twitch is crying as Leo attempts to take a 1v2. His W does go down. He tries to get his third proc, but now the Lulu ult and the Volibear ult are burned. And now Leo is just running away, but he is just forcing so many resources out of JumpStart. There's really not much JumpStart can do. Oh, is Mordekaiser trying to fight the Sejuani? We are
Another
just having
stun
fights.
from Leo.
Yeah. I think we're just having fights all over. Okay, look at this.
Yeah.
When your Sejuani can 1v1 the mid Mordekaiser, what do you say? What?
And then Leo just goes ahead and does that. I mean, it's like there is absolutely nothing that JumpStart can do. They have no tools to slow down NESW. They don't have ways to start advantageous fights. They don't have vision to start numbers up fights. They all their land, not just their base, all their land belong to NESW. They have planted their flag and said, look, all of it, it's for NESW.
Yeah,
This is no longer JumpStart territory.
And it's sad when the set has Sejuani on vision, literally sitting in his bush, and all he can do is just run away.
I think the most entertaining part of this for me, Luka Doncic, you are in very deep. You need to get out. Oh,
well, it looks like they may be fighting. Nihilus does whiff his hook, but it looks like the Volibear jumps onto the Kaisa, but she is totally fine. She immediately takes out Lulu, and now the rest of NESW is TPing in, and they're trying to fight. They are all low health, but it doesn't matter as they're just cleaning up everyone. Wow, Sejuani with a nice Q over the wall, and then flash over as Mordekaiser tries to follow him, and Mordekaiser can do nothing except try to get any sort of damage onto someone, but it just does not look like it's doing anything. Leo will now clean up the kill onto this set, and it looks like it's a free Herald for Blizzard.
I think the most entertaining part of this entire game for me, just take a look at Unshackled's score compared to everyone else's on his teams. He's just sitting there, he's farming, he's like, yeah, I'm doing a good job. Meanwhile, the rest of his team, has like 15 plus kill participation. And he's just sitting there with 5.
So Urgot right now has the least kill participation and the least CS out of his entire team, but he has more than the entire enemy team. But it looks like they're about to catch Leo. He does ult in, and now Blizzard is rotating. It looks like Urgot does get the flash E in, and they're trying to take over JumpStart while they take out Volibear first of all, and now the rest of NESW Blizzard is just collapsing. They've killed every single member. Sejuani does go down, but it looks like that is it.
JumpStart have arrived.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Sejuani died, and she's the one with Rift Herald. Scumbag Luka Doncic doesn't let them end the game, but there should be an inhibitor. On the way out, they go ahead and grab the dragon. Leo doesn't have mana, so I'm not expecting him to say to try and end, especially with the respawn timers, but go, pick up the dragon, say, alright, that was fun. Let's end the game on the next push.
At this point, I'm just sad that JumpStart didn't pick Fiora in the top lane. They really need a French person right now to wave the white flag for them.
Oh no, you didn't! You're not wrong, and I can't believe you've just done this.
Well, someone had to say it here, as There's not much to say. NESW Blizzard just has a commanding 28 kill lead. On top of that, almost a 15k gold lead by 18 minutes. This is something where, you know, if you're playing in solo queue, I have a feeling one of the members on JumpStart is just spamming FF.
I mean, if I'm playing solo queue, if I'm playing on JumpStart's team, I was spamming FF at 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, not really because I'm a PMA gamer, positive mental attitude, but maybe. I would have said, hey, can if this was a scrim set, hey, can we remake draft? You know, next scrim. Let's go next.
Exactly. Yeah. I really don't like the fact that our Twitch, our AD carry has less CS than the tank jungler on the opposing team. Now it looks like they've caught out the Twitch, but Volibear did use his ult to jump on. It doesn't look that great for NESW Blizzard as they do get the Sejuani killed. Leo does run up. He is ulted by Mordekaiser, but now, excuse me, now the rest of Blizzard is coming in. The Kaisa ults in and seems to be able to clean up the rest as she is going to be autoing the Volibear, the Mordekaiser, and the Lulu.
I think this is going to be the end, and there's the FF vote, a GG. NESW Blizzard are your style champions in a commanding 3-1 victory over JumpStart Esports. Congratulations, NESW Blizzard.